The power of silence. Make everything flow in your favor. You've spent countless moments immersed in noise. Now it's time to explore the softer, quieter side of existence, the power of silence. Imagine a life where silence is your greatest power, where the chaos of the world can't touch your peace, and every moment of solitude fuels your growth. What if I told you that by embracing the power of silence, you can gain clarity, emotional strength, and even stronger relationships? The constant pursuit of wisdom is the less traveled road, but the most rewarding, and mastering silence is a crucial step on that journey. This book reveals the profound impact of silence in our lives, highlighting it as more than just the absence of sound. It positions silence as a tool for self-reflection, a path to inner peace, a strategy for effective communication, and a key to resolving conflicts. Today, we'll explore how mastering silence can transform your life. Are you ready to unlock this secret strength? Let's embark on this journey to make silence your greatest ally. Lesson 1. Solitude fuels clarity. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's very easy to get caught up in the noise, distractions, and constant demands of the world around us. We juggle responsibilities at work, deal with personal relationships, manage daily tasks, and try to meet the expectations of others. In the middle of all this, it's common to lose sight of what truly matters to us. Our thoughts can become cluttered, and our sense of direction becomes blurry. This is where solitude comes in as a powerful tool. When we take time to be alone, we give ourselves the opportunity to escape the noise. Solitude allows our minds to breathe. In this quiet space, away from the distractions and demands, we can reflect on our thoughts, our goals, and our emotions without outside influence. It's like decluttering a messy room. Once the chaos is removed, everything becomes clear and organized. Solitude helps us sift through the mental clutter and get back in touch with what's really important in our lives. In moments of solitude, we can think more deeply about the decisions we need to make. Without the pressure of other people's opinions or external distractions, our minds can focus on what truly aligns with our values and goals. Whether it's personal decisions about our relationships, career choices, or simply how to manage our time, solitude gives us the mental space to consider all angles and make better, well-thought-out choices. This clarity can bring a sense of peace because we're no longer overwhelmed by the constant demands of life. For example, when you set aside time to be alone, whether it's taking a peaceful walk in nature or finding a quiet corner in your home, you create a space where your mind can process everything that's going on in your life. It's during these quiet moments that you can think about your goals, reassess your priorities, and identify what truly matters to you. With this renewed clarity, you can then move forward with greater focus, knowing that you are making decisions based on what's best for you rather than reacting to the pressures of the outside world. Make it a habit to schedule regular time for solitude, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes a day. The more you practice being alone, the easier it becomes to clear your mind, reconnect with yourself, and sharpen your focus. Whether you choose to go for a walk in a quiet park, sit by yourself with a cup of tea, or meditate in your room, this time alone can work wonders for your mental clarity. It's a simple yet powerful way to recharge your mind and regain control of your life. Lesson 2. Finding stillness in a noisy world. In today's fast-paced world, noise is everywhere, whether it's the constant buzz of notifications, the hum of conversations, or the seemingly endless stream of tasks that demand our attention. From the moment we wake up until we fall asleep, we're often bombarded with distractions. This non-stop noise can leave us feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and disconnected from our inner selves. It's in these moments that finding stillness becomes crucial. Stillness doesn't just mean physical silence, it's also about quieting the mind. When we take the time to find stillness, we're able to step back from the chaos and regain control of our thoughts and emotions. In the middle of a busy day, finding stillness can feel like hitting the pause button. It allows us to reset, breathe, and reconnect with ourselves on a deeper level. When we practice stillness, we create a calm space where we can reflect and process everything that's happening around us. This is where true peace can be found, within, not in the outside world. In a noisy world, finding stillness can be challenging, but it's not impossible. It's about being intentional with your time and making a conscious effort to create quiet moments for yourself. Even in the middle of a busy environment, you can still find ways to cultivate inner stillness. For example, when you take a few deep breaths during a stressful situation, you're inviting a moment of peace into your day. When you sit quietly, even for just a few minutes, and focus on your breathing or meditate, you're giving yourself the chance to pause the external noise and find calmness within. Stillness isn't just about relaxation, it's also a powerful tool for gaining perspective. When the mind is still, it becomes easier to see things more clearly. Problems that once seemed overwhelming begin to shrink in size and solutions become more visible. This is because stillness gives us the mental space to think deeply and focus on what truly matters. It's like standing in the middle of a storm and realizing that no matter how chaotic things appear on the outside, there is a calm center within you that remains untouched. This internal stillness can help you approach challenges with a clearer, more balanced mindset. One of the simplest ways to practice stillness is through mindfulness or meditation. You don't need to spend hours meditating. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of focused breathing can make a significant difference. Close your eyes, focus on the rise and fall of your breath, and let go of any distractions around you. The goal is to quiet your mind and allow your thoughts to settle, like the way muddy water becomes clear when it's left undisturbed. Incorporating small moments of stillness into your daily routine can help you stay centered, even in the busiest environments. For example, you can take a few moments of quiet before starting your day, during a break at work, or before going to bed. These moments of stillness can recharge your mind and help you approach life with more calm and clarity. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, finding stillness is like discovering a hidden sanctuary within yourself. It's a place where you can retreat, recharge, and gain perspective, no matter how chaotic the outside world may seem. The more you practice finding stillness, the more you'll notice a sense of calm and balance flowing through your life, helping you navigate challenges with grace and resilience. Lesson 3. Alone time increases self-reliance. In a world that emphasizes social interactions and constant communication, the idea of spending time alone can sometimes feel foreign or even uncomfortable. We're often conditioned to think that being alone equates to loneliness or isolation, but in reality, alone time is one of the most powerful tools for developing self-reliance. When you regularly carve out moments to be by yourself, you begin to realize that you are more than capable of handling life's challenges independently, without always needing the input or support of others. Self-reliance is about trusting yourself, your abilities, your thoughts, and your decisions. The more time you spend alone, the more you learn to depend on yourself. In solitude, you don't have the distractions of others' opinions, advice, or influence. You're left to make choices and solve problems using your own inner resources. This strengthens your ability to rely on your own judgment, instincts, and strengths. Over time, this builds an unshakable sense of confidence and resilience, which can empower you in every area of your life. Alone time also teaches you how to be comfortable in your own company. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with feelings of discomfort or unease. However, the more time you spend by yourself, the more you realize that being alone doesn't have to be lonely. In fact, it can be liberating. When you're alone, you have the freedom to focus entirely on your needs, desires, and growth without worrying about anyone else's expectations. This kind of self-focused time allows you to develop a deeper understanding of yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, and aspirations. Spending time alone forces you to take responsibility for your own happiness and well-being. In the presence of others, it's easy to rely on their energy, opinions, or validation to feel good about yourself. But when you're alone, you have no choice but to be the source of your own fulfillment. You start to recognize that your happiness is not dependent on other people or external circumstances. It comes from within. This realization is incredibly empowering because it means that no matter what happens around you, you have the ability to maintain your sense of peace and joy. One of the key benefits of self-reliance is that it prepares you to face life's challenges head-on. When you've cultivated the ability to rely on yourself, you become more resilient in the face of adversity. You know that, no matter what obstacles you encounter, you have the tools and the inner strength to overcome them. You're less likely to crumble under pressure because you've built a solid foundation of self-trust. This kind of inner strength is crucial, especially in a world that can be unpredictable and challenging. Alone time is also a great opportunity for self-reflection. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it can be difficult to take a step back and evaluate your life, your goals, and your progress. However, in moments of solitude, you have the chance to think deeply about where you're headed and whether you're living in alignment with your true values. This kind of introspection is vital for personal growth. It allows you to make adjustments and course correct if needed, ensuring that you stay on the path that's right for you. Alone time isn't just about reflection, it's also about action. When you're by yourself, you have to find ways to keep yourself entertained, motivated, and productive. This fosters creativity and resourcefulness. Whether you're working on a personal project, solving a problem, or simply finding ways to enjoy your own company, you're constantly learning how to navigate life independently. This builds your confidence in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. Being alone also gives you the opportunity to make decisions without outside interference. In social settings, it's easy to be influenced by the opinions and preferences of others. But when you're alone, you have the freedom to make choices that align with your true desires and values. This strengthens your sense of autonomy and helps you develop a clearer understanding of what you really want in life, free from the noise and pressure of external influences. To truly benefit from alone time, it's important to approach it with the right mindset. Instead of viewing solitude as something to avoid or fear, embrace it as a valuable opportunity for growth. Start by setting aside small pockets of time each day or week to be by yourself. During these moments, engage in activities that allow you to connect with yourself, whether it's journaling, meditating, reading, or simply sitting in silence. The more comfortable you become with being alone, the more you'll start to appreciate the clarity, peace, and empowerment that it brings. As you become more self-reliant, you'll find that you no longer feel the need to seek validation from others or depend on external circumstances for happiness. You'll develop a quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you are fully capable of handling life on your own terms. This doesn't mean that you have to shut others out or avoid social interactions. It simply means that you've cultivated the inner strength to stand on your own, no matter what. Alone time is one of the most effective ways to build self-reliance. It's through solitude that you learn to trust yourself, find your own solutions, and take responsibility for your own happiness. By embracing alone time, You not only strengthen your relationship with yourself, but you also become more independent, resilient, and confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges. Lesson 4. Alone time enhances creativity. In a world filled with distractions and constant stimulation, creativity can easily become stifled. We often find ourselves caught up in the demands of daily life, work, social obligations, and endless notifications that leave little room for our minds to wander freely. Creativity, however, thrives in quiet, uninterrupted moments when our minds are given the space to explore new ideas without distraction. This is where alone time becomes incredibly valuable. It provides a much-needed sanctuary where creativity can flourish and grow. One of the reasons alone time enhances creativity is that it eliminates external influences. When you're constantly surrounded by people, conversations, and the expectations of others, it can be difficult to think outside the box. Social interactions, while important, often come with implicit rules and limitations that may restrict your creativity. In contrast, when you're alone, you have the freedom to explore your thoughts and ideas without the pressure of outside judgment or approval. This opens up new possibilities for thinking and creating in ways that are uniquely your own. Alone time also gives your brain a break from information overload. Throughout the day, we're bombarded with information, news, emails, social media updates, and countless other forms of input that can overwhelm our mental capacity. This constant influx of data can make it difficult to focus on creative pursuits. In solitude, however, you have the chance to unplug from the external world and give your mind the freedom to roam. With fewer distractions, your brain can tap into its natural creative flow, allowing you to come up with fresh ideas and innovative solutions. During alone time, your mind enters what psychologists call a state of flow. This is a mental state where you're fully immersed in a creative activity, losing track of time as your ideas and thoughts effortlessly come together. In these moments, you're not overthinking or analyzing every detail. Instead, you're allowing your creativity to take the lead. This flow state is often achieved when you're working alone because there's no one else to interrupt or steer your thought process. You can follow your instincts, experiment with new concepts, and let your imagination run wild. Another reason alone time is so beneficial for creativity is that it allows you to reflect deeply on your thoughts and ideas. When you're surrounded by others, it's easy to be influenced by their opinions and perspectives, but in solitude, you have the opportunity to dive deeper into your own thoughts without interference. This deep reflection helps you connect with your inner creative self, and it often leads to breakthroughs that wouldn't have been possible in a more crowded or noisy environment. For example, many of the world's greatest artists, writers, and thinkers have attributed their best ideas to moments of solitude. They understood that in order to create something truly original and meaningful, they needed time alone to fully immerse themselves in their creative process. Whether it was Albert Einstein contemplating the mysteries of the universe during his long walks, or Virginia Woolf writing in the quiet of her study, these visionaries used alone time as a way to unlock their full creative potential. In addition to enhancing your ability to generate new ideas, alone time also gives you the chance to refine and perfect your creative work. When you're working alone, you can focus entirely on the task at hand without the distractions of others. This allows you to dive deep into your creative projects, perfecting details and experimenting with different approaches until you're satisfied with the result. Alone time gives you the freedom to explore and iterate on your ideas without the constraints of deadlines or external pressure. Another powerful aspect of alone time is that it encourages introspection, which can lead to more authentic creative expression. When you're alone, you're not just working on surface-level ideas. You have the space to explore your deeper thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This introspective process helps you tap into emotions and insights that you might not otherwise access, and it often results in more meaningful, authentic creative work. Your art, writing, or projects become a reflection of your true self, unfiltered by the opinions or expectations of others. To make the most of your alone time for creativity, it's important to create an environment that fosters focus and inspiration. This could be a quiet room in your home, a peaceful spot in nature, or even a cozy corner in a cafe where you can work undisturbed. The key is to eliminate as many distractions as possible and create a space where you feel free to think and create without interruption. Once you've established this space, set aside regular blocks of time to work on your creative projects. Even just 30 minutes of uninterrupted alone time can make a significant difference in your creative output. One of the challenges of tapping into your creativity during alone time is overcoming the initial discomfort of being by yourself. Many people are so accustomed to being surrounded by others or engaged in social media that they feel uneasy when faced with solitude. However, this discomfort is often temporary. The more time you spend alone, the more comfortable you'll become with the quiet. You'll begin to appreciate the mental clarity and focus that comes with it. Over time, you'll start to associate alone time with creative inspiration and productivity, making it easier to embrace these moments of solitude. It's also important to remember that creativity doesn't always happen on command. Sometimes your alone time may not lead to an immediate burst of inspiration, and that's okay. Creativity is a process, and it often requires patience. Even if you don't come up with groundbreaking ideas every time you're alone, the act of giving yourself space to think and reflect is valuable in itself. Creativity often works in mysterious ways, and sometimes the best ideas come when you least expect them, like during a quiet walk or while you're resting after a productive session of creative work. Alone time is a powerful catalyst for creativity. It provides the mental space needed to explore new ideas, enter a state of flow, and reflect deeply on your work. By embracing solitude, you unlock your full creative potential and give yourself the freedom to express your true self through your art, writing, or projects. The more comfortable you become with being alone, the more you'll discover that some of your best and most inspired ideas come when you're by yourself, free from distractions and external pressures. Lesson 5. Solitude strengthens emotional stability. In a world where we are constantly interacting with others, whether through work, social media, or family life, it's easy to become emotionally entangled in the ups and downs of those around us. While relationships and social connections are vital to our well-being, they can also sometimes lead to emotional overwhelm. We absorb other people's moods, problems, and energy, which can make it difficult to stay emotionally balanced. This is where solitude becomes a critical practice for strengthening emotional stability. When we spend time alone, we allow ourselves to step back from the emotional turbulence of others. Solitude provides us with a safe space to process our own emotions without the influence of external pressures. In the absence of other people's opinions, expectations, or emotions, we can more clearly identify what we are truly feeling. This self-awareness is the foundation of emotional stability. Instead of being reactive to the emotions of those around us, we can pause, reflect, and respond in ways that align with our values and inner balance. Solitude also allows us to develop emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to recover from stress, setbacks, and difficult emotions quickly and effectively. When we are constantly surrounded by others, it can be hard to separate our own emotions from the emotions of the group. For example, if someone around us is anxious, upset, or angry, it's common to feel those emotions as well, even if they don't originate from within us. Over time, this constant exposure to the emotions of others can leave us feeling drained, stressed, or even burnt out. However, when we retreat into solitude, we create a buffer that allows us to recover from emotional overload and recharge our emotional energy. Spending time alone is not about escaping from the world or avoiding emotions. On the contrary, solitude provides a space where we can face our emotions head-on without distraction. In solitude, we can sit with difficult feelings, such as sadness, frustration, or anxiety, and work through them in a healthy way. This process of emotional reflection is crucial for long-term emotional stability. When we take the time to address our emotions in solitude, we are less likely to carry unresolved feelings into our interactions with others. This not only improves our relationships, but also helps us maintain a sense of inner peace. Solitude also encourages emotional independence. When we are constantly in the presence of others, it's easy to rely on them for emotional validation, support, or reassurance. While seeking comfort from others is natural and important, over-reliance on external emotional support can weaken our ability to regulate our emotions on our own. In solitude, however, we learn to self-soothe. We become responsible for our own emotional well-being, developing the tools and strategies to manage our feelings without always needing someone else to step in and help. This emotional independence strengthens our resilience, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with greater confidence and poise. One powerful way to use solitude to strengthen emotional stability is through mindfulness or meditation practices. Mindfulness encourages us to become aware of our emotions in the present moment without judgment. Instead of reacting to emotions impulsively, mindfulness allows us to observe our feelings with curiosity and compassion. This practice can be particularly useful when dealing with intense emotions such as anger, sadness, or fear. By sitting quietly with these emotions during moments of solitude, we can learn to process them more effectively and reduce their hold on us. Meditation also teaches us how to distance ourselves from the constant stream of thoughts and emotions that run through our minds. Often, emotional instability arises because we become too caught up in negative thought patterns, ruminating on past mistakes, worrying about the future, or replaying difficult conversations in our heads. In solitude, we have the opportunity to quiet these mental distractions and create a sense of emotional calm. Over time, regular meditation or mindfulness practice can rewire our brains to respond to stress and emotional challenges more calmly and effectively. Another way solitude strengthens emotional stability is by providing time for self-reflection. In our busy, fast-paced lives, we rarely take the time to reflect on our emotional experiences. Solitude offers us the opportunity to pause and ask ourselves important questions. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? How can I respond to this emotion in a healthy and constructive manner? By regularly engaging in self-reflection during moments of solitude, we gain valuable insights into our emotional triggers and patterns. This self-awareness empowers us to make conscious choices about how we manage our emotions in the future. In addition to emotional self-awareness, solitude fosters emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage and control our emotions, even in stressful or triggering situations. When we spend time alone, we practice regulating our emotions without external distractions or assistance. For example, if we are feeling anxious, we can use solitude to practice calming techniques such as deep breathing, journaling, or simply sitting in silence until the feeling passes. These self-regulation strategies become even more powerful over time, equipping us to handle emotional challenges with grace and stability. Solitude allows us to cultivate self-compassion. Often, emotional instability is exacerbated by our inner critic, the harsh voice inside our heads that tells us we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. In solitude, we can practice being kinder to ourselves. Without the noise of other people's opinions or societal pressures, we have the space to reflect on our struggles and challenges with empathy and understanding. Self-compassion teaches us that it's okay to feel vulnerable or uncertain, and it reminds us that emotional struggles are a normal part of the human experience. Developing emotional stability through solitude doesn't mean cutting off from others or avoiding social interactions. It's about balancing time with others and time with yourself. By making solitude a regular part of your routine, you create a safe and nurturing environment to process emotions, gain self-awareness, and build emotional resilience. This balance allows you to show up in your relationships and daily life with greater emotional strength and clarity. For those who may feel uncomfortable with the idea of solitude, it's important to start small. You don't need to spend hours alone each day to experience the benefits of emotional stability. Begin by setting aside just 10-15 minutes each day for quiet reflection or mindfulness. Gradually, you'll find that this time becomes a sanctuary where you can recharge and regain emotional balance. The more you practice solitude, the more you'll notice its positive impact on your emotional well-being. Solitude is a powerful tool for strengthening emotional stability. It provides the space to process emotions, develop emotional resilience, and cultivate self-awareness. By embracing moments of alone time, we learn to manage our emotions more effectively, foster emotional independence, and create a strong foundation of inner peace. In a world filled with emotional turbulence, solitude offers a much-needed retreat where we can nurture our emotional well-being and face life's challenges with calmness and clarity. Lesson 6. Silence as a tool for self-reflection. In the fast-paced world we live in, silence is often an underappreciated gift. Many of us are so caught up in the constant noise, whether it's the background chatter of social media, the endless stream of emails, or the daily interactions with family, friends, and colleagues, that we rarely take the time to pause and simply be still. But it's in moments of silence that we truly have the opportunity to engage in deep self-reflection. Silence creates a quiet space that allows us to connect with our inner selves, reflect on our thoughts and actions, and gain valuable insights into our lives. Self-reflection is the process of looking inward to evaluate your thoughts, feelings, actions, and decisions. It's a critical part of personal growth and self-awareness, and silence is the perfect environment in which to practice it. When the external noise fades away, you can more easily hear your inner voice. In these quiet moments, you can ask yourself important questions. Who am I? What do I want? Am I living in alignment with my values? These are questions that often get lost in the busyness of daily life, but in silence, they come to the forefront, allowing you to explore them more deeply. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is also a state of being that encourages introspection. When you allow yourself to sit in silence, without the distractions of technology or the opinions of others, you create space for self-examination. This space gives you the opportunity to reflect on recent experiences, assess your current emotional state, and evaluate whether your actions are aligned with your long-term goals. Without the constant interruptions of external stimuli, you can engage in this process with a clear and focused mind, leading to more meaningful insights. One of the most powerful aspects of silence as a tool for self-reflection is that it gives you the chance to become more aware of your thought patterns. We all have thoughts running through our minds constantly, but we don't always take the time to question them. In moments of silence, you can observe your thoughts without judgment. This practice allows you to identify negative or limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. For example, you may realize that you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough to pursue a certain goal, or that you're stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. Once you become aware of these thought patterns, you can challenge and change them, freeing yourself from mental barriers. Silence also provides the perfect environment for emotional reflection. Throughout the day, we experience a wide range of emotions, from happiness and excitement to frustration and sadness. However, we often don't take the time to fully process these emotions. Instead, we push them aside, allowing them to build up over time. In silence, you can sit with your emotions and give yourself the space to feel them fully. This process is incredibly healing because it allows you to understand where your emotions are coming from and how they are affecting your behavior. By reflecting on your emotional responses, you can gain insight into your triggers and learn healthier ways to cope with difficult feelings. For example, imagine you've had a particularly stressful day at work. Instead of immediately distracting yourself with TV or social media when you get home, you could take a few minutes to sit in silence and reflect on your emotions. Why do you feel stressed? Is it because of a specific task or interaction? How did you handle the situation, and could you have responded differently? This type of emotional reflection helps you process your feelings in a constructive way, rather than allowing them to fester and affect your mood for the rest of the evening. Another significant benefit of using silence for self-reflection is that it promotes mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment without judgment or distraction. When you engage in silent self-reflection, you become more mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. This heightened awareness allows you to live more intentionally, making conscious choices that align with your values and goals. Instead of operating on autopilot, reacting to life as it happens, you can approach each day with a greater sense of purpose and direction. In addition to enhancing mindfulness, silence fosters self-compassion. Often, when we reflect on our actions or decisions, we are quick to criticize ourselves for mistakes or shortcomings. However, silence offers a more compassionate space for reflection. In the stillness, you can acknowledge your imperfections without judgment and offer yourself the same kindness you would extend to a friend. This practice of self-compassion is crucial for personal growth because it allows you to learn from your mistakes without being weighed down by guilt or self-blame. Silence helps you reconnect with your deeper values and purpose. In the noise and chaos of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. You may find yourself chasing after superficial goals or getting caught up in other people's expectations rather than pursuing what brings you true fulfillment. In moments of silence, you can strip away these external distractions and tune in to your inner wisdom. This is where you can rediscover your core values and realign your life with them. Whether it's family, creativity, personal growth, or spirituality, silence allows you to reconnect with what's most important to you. The insights gained through silent self-reflection can lead to profound shifts in your life. For example, you might realize that a certain career path no longer aligns with your values, or that a relationship is draining your energy. Armed with this self-awareness, you can make more informed decisions that bring you closer to the life you truly want to live. Silence acts as a mirror, reflecting back to you the areas of your life that need attention, as well as the strengths and resources you already possess to create positive change. To make silence a regular part of your self-reflection practice, it's important to create intentional time and space for it. You don't need hours of uninterrupted silence. Even 10 to 15 minutes of quiet reflection each day can have a powerful impact. Find a peaceful spot in your home or go for a walk in nature where you can be alone with your thoughts. During this time, resist the urge to fill the silence with distractions. Instead, focus on your breathing, observe your thoughts, and allow yourself to sit with whatever emotions arise. You may also find it helpful to journal during or after these periods of silence to capture any insights or realizations. For those who are new to the practice of self-reflection, it can be helpful to start with guided prompts. For example, you might ask yourself, "What am I feeling right now? What did I learn from today's experiences? Am I living in alignment with my values? What's one thing I could do differently tomorrow?" These questions encourage deeper introspection and can lead to valuable insights about yourself and your life. Silence is a powerful tool for self-reflection that allows you to engage with your inner self on a deeper level. It provides the space to process your thoughts and emotions, identify limiting beliefs, and reconnect with your values and purpose. By incorporating regular moments of silence into your routine, you can cultivate greater self-awareness, emotional resilience, and mindfulness. Ultimately, this practice leads to a more intentional, fulfilling, and balanced life as you gain the clarity and wisdom needed to make choices that align with your true self. Lesson 7. The healing power of silence. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by noise, both external and internal, the healing power of silence is often overlooked. We live in a society where being busy, multitasking, and staying constantly connected are seen as virtues. However, this constant stimulation can lead to burnout, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. Silence, on the other hand, offers a sanctuary from the noise, giving us the space to heal both mentally and physically. In fact, silence can be one of the most effective ways to restore balance and well-being in our lives. The healing power of silence starts with its ability to reduce stress. Modern life often feels like a whirlwind of responsibilities, deadlines, and social obligations. This constant hustle can leave us feeling overwhelmed and tense. The stress hormone cortisol rises when we are in high-pressure situations, and over time, chronic stress can take a toll on both our mental and physical health. Silence, however, offers a remedy. When we enter a state of silence, our nervous system has a chance to reset. Studies have shown that periods of silence can lower blood pressure, reduce heart rate, and decrease stress levels. It's as though silence allows our bodies to step out of fight or flight mode and into a state of rest and recovery. Beyond reducing stress, silence also offers profound mental healing. We live in an age of information overload where we are constantly consuming data, whether it's through our phones, computers, or television. While staying informed and connected has its benefits, this non-stop stream of information can overwhelm our minds. We rarely give ourselves a break from the noise, and this can lead to mental fatigue, confusion, and even anxiety. Silence gives our minds the opportunity to rest. When we take a break from the barrage of information, our brains have the chance to recharge and process the thoughts that have been pushed aside in the chaos of daily life. Silence is also incredibly powerful in helping us process emotions. Emotions are a natural part of life, but many of us don't take the time to fully experience or understand them. Instead, we distract ourselves with activities, conversations, or technology, hoping that our feelings will simply disappear. However, unprocessed emotions don't go away. They linger in our minds and bodies, often resurfacing as stress, anxiety, or physical ailments. Silence provides the space to sit with our emotions, acknowledge them, and allow them to pass. By giving ourselves permission to feel without distraction, we begin to heal emotionally. We can let go of the tension and turmoil that unprocessed emotions create and find peace within. In addition to its emotional benefits, silence promotes physical healing as well. Research has shown that exposure to constant noise, especially in urban environments, can have negative effects on our health. Chronic noise has been linked to high blood pressure, sleep disturbances, and even heart disease. Silence, on the other hand, has the opposite effect. Just 2 minutes of complete silence has been shown to lower blood pressure and increase blood circulation to the brain. When the body is given the opportunity to rest in silence, it can focus on healing and recovery, leading to improved immune function and overall physical well-being. Another important aspect of the healing power of silence is its ability to foster deeper self-awareness. When we are constantly surrounded by noise, it's easy to lose touch with our inner selves. We become so focused on external distractions, whether it's the demands of work, the opinions of others, or the endless stream of information, that we rarely take the time to check in with ourselves. Silence gives us the space to reconnect with who we truly are. In moments of quiet, we can reflect on our thoughts, our actions, and our emotional state. This heightened self-awareness allows us to identify areas of our lives that may need attention or healing, whether it's an unresolved conflict, a difficult emotion, or a harmful habit. Silence also nurtures our creativity, which is another form of healing. Often, our creative potential gets stifled by the noise and distractions of everyday life. Our minds are so preoccupied with external demands that we don't allow ourselves the time or space to think creatively. However, when we immerse ourselves in silence, our minds have the freedom to wander. In these moments, new ideas and insights can emerge, allowing us to tap into our creative potential. Creativity is not only about artistic expression, it's also about finding innovative solutions to problems, discovering new perspectives, and gaining clarity on life's challenges. By nurturing our creativity, silence helps us heal from feelings of stagnation or frustration, offering us new ways to approach life's difficulties. The healing effects of silence also extend to our relationships. In today's fast-paced world, many of us have become accustomed to constant communication, whether through texts, calls, or social media. However, this constant connectivity can sometimes create superficial or rushed interactions, preventing us from truly connecting with others on a deeper level. Silence, when practiced mindfully, can enhance our relationships by allowing for more meaningful communication. When we sit in silence with someone, we create space for true connection without the need for words. This can be especially healing in relationships where misunderstandings or tensions exist. By allowing silence to foster a sense of calm and understanding, we can rebuild trust and strengthen our emotional bonds. One of the most profound ways that silence heals is by providing a space for spiritual growth and connection. Whether or not you follow a specific religious or spiritual path, silence offers the opportunity to connect with something greater than yourself. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of silence for prayer, meditation, and contemplation. In these quiet moments, we can tune into our inner wisdom, seek guidance, and experience a sense of peace that goes beyond the material world. For many, silence is the gateway to a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in life, offering a sense of spiritual healing that can't be found in the noise of everyday life. To fully experience the healing power of silence, it's important to make it a regular practice. Start by carving out small moments of silence each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Find a quiet space where you can sit without distractions, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Allow your thoughts and emotions to come and go without judgment, simply observing them as they pass. As you become more comfortable with silence, you may want to extend these periods of quiet, perhaps through meditation, nature walks, or mindful reflection. For those who find silence uncomfortable or unfamiliar, it can be helpful to approach it with an open mind and patience. At first, you may feel restless or unsure of what to do with the quiet, but over time, you'll begin to appreciate the sense of calm and clarity that silence brings. The key is to let go of the need to fill every moment with activity or noise, and instead embrace the stillness as a time for healing and renewal. Silence holds immense healing power, both for the mind and the body. It reduces stress, helps process emotions, promotes physical recovery, and fosters self-awareness. It nurtures creativity, deepens relationships, and provides a space for spiritual growth. In a world filled with noise and distractions, silence offers a sanctuary where we can reconnect with ourselves and find the peace and healing we need. By making silence a regular part of our lives, we open the door to greater well-being, emotional balance, and inner calm. Lesson 8. Being alone brings inner peace. In a society that often equates being alone with loneliness or isolation, we sometimes forget the incredible power of solitude. Being alone doesn't have to mean feeling lonely. It can be a time of deep introspection, healing, and, most importantly, a source of inner peace. In fact, the ability to find peace within ourselves during moments of solitude is one of the greatest gifts we can cultivate. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with a calm, centered mind, unshaken by external circumstances. Inner peace isn't something we can find in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It's something that we nurture within ourselves. The world is filled with distractions, constant noise, demands, and the opinions of others, all of which can pull us in multiple directions at once. This external chaos can leave us feeling anxious, restless, or even disconnected from ourselves. When we carve out time to be alone, we give ourselves the space to step away from this noise and return to a state of balance and calm. Alone time acts as a reset button for our minds, helping us clear away the clutter and focus on what truly matters. The first step to finding inner peace in solitude is learning to be comfortable in your own company. Many people feel uneasy or even fearful at the thought of being alone, but this discomfort often comes from a misunderstanding of what alone time really is. It's not about feeling isolated from others. It's about creating a sacred space where you can reconnect with yourself. When you embrace being alone, you begin to realize that you don't need external validation or constant interaction to feel fulfilled. Instead, you find contentment in simply being with yourself, free from the pressures and expectations of the outside world. Being alone also offers an opportunity for deep self-reflection, which is essential for cultivating inner peace. In moments of solitude, we can reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment or distraction. This reflection allows us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our needs, and our desires. By regularly engaging in self-reflection during alone time, we can identify the sources of stress, anxiety, or unhappiness in our lives and take steps to address them. This process of self-awareness is key to finding lasting inner peace because it helps us let go of the things that are weighing us down, whether it's a toxic relationship, a negative mindset, or unfulfilled expectations. One of the most significant ways that being alone brings inner peace is through the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, and it's often easiest to practice when we're alone. When we're by ourselves, we can focus entirely on our breath, our surroundings, and our inner state without the distractions of conversation, technology, or obligations. By practicing mindfulness in solitude, we train our minds to remain calm and present, even in stressful situations. This mindful presence creates a sense of inner peace that we can carry with us into our daily lives. Another important aspect of finding inner peace through solitude is learning to let go of external validation. In today's world, it's easy to become reliant on the opinions of others to feel good about ourselves. We seek approval from our peers, co-workers, and even strangers on social media. But this constant need for validation can leave us feeling empty and anxious when we don't receive the recognition we crave. Being alone teaches us that true peace comes from within. It's not something we can get from others. When we stop seeking approval and instead focus on nurturing our own self-worth, we begin to experience a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. In solitude, we also gain the freedom to set our own pace. Life can often feel like a race, with everyone rushing to meet deadlines, achieve goals, and keep up with the demands of modern life. This sense of urgency can be exhausting, leaving little room for peace or relaxation. However, when we're alone, we're not bound by anyone else's schedule or expectations. We can slow down, take our time, and move at a pace that feels natural and soothing. This slower pace allows us to savor the present moment, appreciate the simple pleasures of life, and experience a sense of calm that is often absent in our busy lives. Being alone can help us break free from the pressures of comparison. In social settings, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others, whether it's in terms of achievements, appearance, or lifestyle. This comparison can create feelings of inadequacy, envy, or frustration, which disrupt our inner peace. When we're alone, however, we're less likely to compare ourselves to others. We can focus entirely on our own journey and progress, without feeling the need to measure up to anyone else's standards. This self-focus helps us cultivate a sense of contentment with who we are and where we are in life. Solitude also allows us to reconnect with nature, which is a powerful source of inner peace. Spending time alone in nature, whether it's a quiet walk in the park, a hike through the woods, or simply sitting by the ocean, can have a profoundly calming effect on the mind and body. Nature has a way of reminding us of the beauty and simplicity of life, helping us put our worries and stresses into perspective. In these moments of quiet connection with the natural world, we often experience a sense of awe and tranquility that brings us closer to inner peace. For many, solitude is also a time for spiritual reflection and connection. Whether through prayer, meditation, or contemplation, being alone offers the perfect environment to connect with a higher power or deeper sense of purpose. In these quiet moments, we can seek guidance, reflect on our spiritual journey, and find peace in the knowledge that we are part of something greater than ourselves. This spiritual connection often brings a profound sense of peace that transcends the challenges and uncertainties of daily life. Being alone gives us the opportunity to practice self-care, which is essential for maintaining inner peace. When we're constantly surrounded by others or focused on our responsibilities, it can be easy to neglect our own needs. But in solitude, we have the freedom to prioritize our well-being. Whether it's taking a long bath, reading a good book, journaling, or simply resting, alone time allows us to nurture ourselves in ways that restore our energy and bring us back to a state of balance and calm. To truly experience the inner peace that solitude offers, it's important to approach alone time with intention. Instead of seeing it as an empty or lonely space, view it as an opportunity for self-discovery, healing, and growth. Make it a regular practice to spend time alone, whether it's a few minutes each day or longer periods during the week. During this time, focus on activities that help you relax, reflect, and reconnect with yourself, such as meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. As you become more comfortable with being alone, you'll find that inner peace becomes easier to access, no matter what challenges life throws your way. Being alone is a powerful pathway to inner peace. It provides the space for self-reflection, mindfulness and self-care, allowing us to let go of external distractions and reconnect with our true selves. Through solitude, we learn to find contentment within, free from the need for validation or comparison. By embracing moments of quiet and stillness, we can cultivate a lasting sense of peace that carries us through life with greater calm, resilience, and fulfillment. Lesson 9. Solitude fosters stronger relationships. It may seem counterintuitive, but spending time alone can significantly strengthen your relationships with others. Many people assume that being in constant contact or always spending time with loved ones is the key to building deeper connections. However, solitude, the intentional act of being alone, offers valuable opportunities for self-discovery, emotional regulation, and personal growth, all of which can enhance the quality of your relationships in profound ways. When you spend time in solitude, you gain the ability to reflect on your relationships from a place of clarity. In the middle of daily interactions, it's easy to get caught up in misunderstandings, disagreements, or simply the fast pace of life. Without time to step back and reflect, we may react impulsively to situations or fail to fully understand our role in conflicts. Solitude provides a safe space to think about how we relate to others, what we appreciate, what challenges we face, and what we might do to improve our connections. This reflective process can bring insights into how you can communicate more effectively or show more empathy, which ultimately strengthens your relationships. In moments of solitude, you also develop a deeper understanding of your own needs, desires, and boundaries. Relationships thrive when both people understand and respect their own limits, but without time for self-reflection, it's easy to overlook these important aspects of yourself. Being alone gives you the opportunity to explore what you need to feel emotionally secure, what boundaries are important for your well-being, and how you can better express those needs in your relationships. This self-awareness is critical because when you understand yourself more fully, you can engage with others from a place of authenticity and confidence. Solitude helps you regulate your emotions, which is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. When you're constantly surrounded by others, emotions can become overwhelming. We may feel frustrated, stressed, or reactive, and without time to process those emotions in solitude, we might project them onto the people around us. For instance, after a long day, if we haven't had the chance to decompress, we might take out our stress on a loved one, even if they aren't the source of the frustration. Spending time alone allows you to process your emotions without external pressure. You can sort through your feelings, release pent-up tension, and return to your relationships with a calm, balanced mindset, making you more patient, understanding, and less reactive. Solitude also fosters independence, which is key to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. In many relationships, people can become overly dependent on one another for emotional validation or happiness. While it's natural to rely on those we care about for support, overdependence can create pressure or resentment over time. By spending time alone, you cultivate emotional independence, learning how to make yourself happy, how to self-soothe, and how to handle challenges on your own. This emotional independence means that you enter relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness, and this makes your connections more balanced and resilient. By fostering your independence in solitude, you give your partner, friends, or family members the freedom to do the same. Healthy relationships thrive when each individual has their own sense of self and personal growth, separate from the relationship. When you spend time alone, you're not only nurturing your own well-being, but also encouraging your loved ones to do the same. This leads to stronger relationships because each person brings their best self to the table, and neither person is relying on the other to fulfill all of their emotional needs. Another powerful way that solitude strengthens relationships is by creating a sense of gratitude and appreciation. When we are constantly in each other's presence, it's easy to take the people in our lives for granted. The closeness and familiarity that come from spending too much time together can sometimes dull our sense of appreciation for the unique qualities and contributions of others. However, when we step away from our relationships for a period of solitude, we gain perspective. We have the chance to reflect on the positive aspects of our relationships and what our loved ones mean to us. Absence, as the saying goes, makes the heart grow fonder. After spending time alone, we return to our relationships with a renewed sense of gratitude and affection for the people in our lives. Solitude also gives us the opportunity to work on ourselves, which directly benefits our relationships. Whether it's through self-improvement, pursuing personal goals, or simply relaxing and recharging, the work we do during alone time makes us better partners, friends, or family members. When we feel fulfilled, rested, and emotionally balanced, we're better equipped to show up for others in a positive and meaningful way. Conversely, when we neglect our own needs and constantly put others first, we can become drained, resentful, or less patient. Taking time for yourself allows you to nurture your own well-being so that you can bring your best self to your relationships. Solitude also helps to improve your communication skills in relationships. When you spend time alone reflecting on your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, you gain a deeper understanding of how you communicate with others. This self-awareness allows you to identify areas where you may need to improve, whether it's being more empathetic, learning to listen better, or expressing your feelings more clearly. The clarity you gain in solitude can help you communicate more openly and effectively with others, leading to healthier and more transparent relationships. When you're comfortable being alone, you're less likely to tolerate unhealthy or toxic relationships. Many people stay in unhealthy relationships out of fear of being alone. They might cling to a relationship that isn't fulfilling because they don't want to face the discomfort of solitude. However, when you learn to embrace alone time, you gain the confidence to walk away from relationships that are draining or damaging. You know that you can thrive on your own, and this empowers you to seek relationships that are truly enriching rather than settling for ones that cause more harm than good. Solitude enhances your ability to empathize with others. When you take time for yourself, you learn to be more introspective and thoughtful. This introspection allows you to develop a deeper understanding of your own emotions, which in turn helps you understand and relate to the emotions of others. Empathy is a cornerstone of healthy relationships, and by practicing empathy for yourself during moments of solitude, you become more skilled at offering it to others. Solitude plays a vital role in fostering stronger, healthier relationships. It allows for self-reflection, emotional regulation, and personal growth, all of which contribute to deeper connections with others. By cultivating independence and gratitude, solitude helps us approach relationships from a place of emotional strength and authenticity. Whether it's improving communication, nurturing empathy, or creating emotional balance, the time you spend alone can have a profound positive impact on your relationships. Instead of seeing alone time as a withdrawal from others, view it as an essential part of building lasting, meaningful connections. Lesson 10. Alone time is essential for spiritual growth. In the modern world, where we are constantly inundated with information, social engagements, and responsibilities, finding time for spiritual growth can be challenging. Many of us spend so much of our time focused on external demands that we neglect our inner spiritual needs. However, alone time can serve as a vital sanctuary for deepening your spiritual practice and forging a stronger connection with your inner self. the universe, or a higher power. Solitude offers the stillness and reflection necessary to nurture your spiritual life, allowing you to find clarity, meaning, and purpose beyond the everyday hustle. Spiritual growth is a deeply personal journey, and for many people, it requires a break from the distractions of daily life to focus inward. Solitude provides the perfect environment for this introspection. When you're alone, you can engage in spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, reflection, or simply quiet contemplation without interruptions. These practices help you connect with your true self and allow you to explore your beliefs, values, and spiritual aspirations more deeply. Whether you follow a specific religious path or simply seek a sense of peace and connection with the universe, alone time is essential for nurturing your spiritual development. One of the most profound benefits of solitude for spiritual growth is that it allows you to listen to your inner voice. In a world full of noise, both literal and metaphorical, it can be difficult to hear the quiet voice of intuition, wisdom, or divine guidance. Alone time, however, provides the silence necessary to tune in to that inner voice. When we remove the distractions of technology, social obligations, and external pressures, we create space for spiritual insights to emerge. Whether you're seeking answers to life's big questions, grappling with doubts, or simply looking for direction, solitude gives you the opportunity to connect with the deeper wisdom that resides within you. In moments of solitude, we can also reconnect with our sense of purpose and meaning. Many people feel lost or disconnected because they are so focused on the busyness of life that they lose sight of their deeper purpose. Alone time allows us to step back from the noise and ask ourselves important questions. What is my purpose? What brings me fulfillment? What am I truly passionate about? These are questions that often go unanswered when we're consumed by the demands of everyday life, but in solitude, we can explore them without distraction. By reflecting on these questions, you can realign your actions and choices with your spiritual purpose, bringing greater clarity and meaning to your life. For those who practice formal religious or spiritual traditions, alone time can also serve as a sacred opportunity to deepen your connection with the divine. In many spiritual paths, solitude is considered essential for cultivating a closer relationship with a higher power. Throughout history, spiritual leaders and mystics have sought solitude as a way to commune with the divine, whether through prayer, meditation, or contemplative silence. Alone time offers a space where you can engage in these practices with a sense of devotion and presence, allowing you to strengthen your spiritual connection and find peace in the process. Beyond formal spiritual practices, alone time also provides the chance to reflect on the lessons and experiences of your life. Often, spiritual growth comes from understanding the challenges and triumphs we face on our journey. When we are constantly moving from one task to the next, we rarely take the time to reflect on what we've learned from these experiences. In solitude, however, we can pause and examine the events of our lives with a spiritual lens. We can ask ourselves, what have I learned from this experience? How has this shaped my spiritual beliefs or understanding? By reflecting on our experiences, we gain greater insight into the lessons life is teaching us and how these lessons contribute to our spiritual growth. Solitude also helps foster a sense of gratitude, which is a cornerstone of many spiritual traditions. In the quiet of alone time, we can reflect on the blessings in our lives, the people we love, the opportunities we've been given, and the beauty of the world around us. This reflection fosters a deep sense of gratitude that enhances our spiritual practice. Gratitude helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, and in doing so, it brings us closer to a state of inner peace and contentment. Whether through journaling, prayer, or meditation, Practicing gratitude during moments of solitude can help you cultivate a more positive and spiritually aligned outlook on life. Alone time allows us to practice mindfulness, which is essential for spiritual growth. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When we are constantly surrounded by noise and activity, it can be difficult to live mindfully. However, in solitude, we can practice mindfulness more easily. We can pay attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without the usual distractions, allowing us to become more attuned to the present moment. This mindfulness brings a greater sense of peace, awareness, and spiritual connection. Another important aspect of solitude and spiritual growth is the opportunity to engage in self-care and self-compassion. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of caring for the self, not out of selfishness, but as an act of honoring the divine within. When we neglect our own needs, we deplete our energy and diminish our ability to show up fully in our spiritual practices and in our relationships with others. Alone time allows us to practice self-care in ways that nourish our minds, bodies, and spirits. Whether it's through rest, relaxation, or engaging in activities that bring you joy, self-care in solitude helps restore your inner balance, enabling you to grow spiritually with renewed energy. Solitude also invites the possibility for deep transformation. Spiritual growth is often marked by periods of introspection and change, and these changes usually require time alone to fully process. Whether you are going through a major life transition, such as a career change, a relationship shift, or a personal crisis, or simply seeking greater understanding of yourself, alone time provides the space to undergo these transformations. In solitude, you can let go of old beliefs, habits, or patterns that no longer serve you and embrace new ways of being that align with your spiritual path. Solitude can deepen your connection with nature, which is a source of spiritual growth for many people. Spending time alone in nature, whether it's walking through a forest, sitting by a lake, or simply observing the sky, allows you to experience the peace and beauty of the natural world. Nature has a way of grounding us, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all life and the cycles of growth, renewal, and transformation. In these moments of solitude in nature, you can feel a sense of awe, wonder, and reverence for the world around you, all of which contribute to your spiritual development. Alone time is essential for spiritual growth because it provides the stillness and space necessary for deep reflection, mindfulness, and connection. Whether you're engaging in formal spiritual practices or simply taking time to be present with yourself, solitude offers a sanctuary for nurturing your inner life. It allows you to listen to your inner voice, realign with your purpose, and cultivate gratitude and self-awareness. By making alone time a regular part of your routine, you open the door to profound spiritual growth, inner peace, and a deeper connection to the divine or the universe. Lesson 11. Embrace the power of silence for mental clarity. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, silence is often seen as something to be filled with conversation, background music, or the constant stream of notifications from our digital devices. Many people feel uncomfortable with silence, as it can seem like a void that needs to be avoided or distracted from. But what if silence wasn't a void to be filled, but a powerful tool that can bring mental clarity, focus, and peace? Embracing the power of silence is one of the most effective ways to clear mental fog and regain control of our thoughts. In this lesson, we'll explore how silence can lead to profound mental clarity and a deeper understanding of our inner world. One of the most immediate benefits of silence is that it removes distractions, allowing your brain to rest. Our brains are constantly bombarded with stimuli, from conversations with friends, the news cycle, work emails, and social media updates to the everyday noise of modern life. All of this noise can overwhelm the mind, leaving us feeling scattered, distracted, and mentally drained. In moments of silence, however, we give our brains the opportunity to step away from the barrage of external information and focus inward. It's like hitting the pause button on the world, allowing your mind to declutter and reset. This rest period is crucial for mental clarity, as it gives your brain the time and space it needs to process information, organize thoughts, and restore focus. Silence also allows us to think more deeply. When we're surrounded by noise, we tend to stay at the surface level of our thoughts, reacting to the immediate demands or stimuli in front of us. But in silence, we can dive beneath that surface and explore our thoughts more thoroughly. We can engage in deep, uninterrupted thinking, reflecting on complex issues or long-term goals that we might otherwise avoid in the chaos of daily life. This deeper thinking brings clarity because it helps us work through problems, consider multiple perspectives, and come up with more thoughtful solutions. In addition to promoting deeper thinking, silence encourages mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, and silence offers the perfect environment for this kind of awareness. When we're alone in silence, we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. This mindful awareness is critical for mental clarity because it helps us recognize when our minds are cluttered or distracted. By paying attention to our inner state, we can begin to identify the sources of mental clutter, whether it's stress, unresolved emotions, or worries about the future, and take steps to address them. This practice of mindfulness in silence helps us create a calm, focused mind that is free from unnecessary distractions. Another way that silence brings mental clarity is by allowing us to reflect on our priorities. In the noise of everyday life, it's easy to get swept up in the urgency of tasks and obligations, losing sight of what's truly important. Silence provides a much-needed pause during which we can step back and evaluate our lives. Are we spending our time on the things that matter most to us? Are we aligned with our values and long-term goals? Silence gives us the space to ask these important questions and realign our actions with our priorities. This clarity of purpose helps us focus our energy on what truly matters, rather than getting bogged down by distractions or trivial concerns. Silence helps us manage our emotions more effectively. When we're constantly surrounded by noise and external stimuli, it's easy to become emotionally reactive, responding impulsively to situations without fully processing how we feel. However, in silence, we have the opportunity to sit with our emotions, observe them, and understand them on a deeper level. This emotional reflection is crucial for mental clarity because it allows us to gain insight into what's driving our reactions. Instead of being caught in the emotional whirlwind, we can step back and view our feelings with a sense of detachment, which helps us respond to situations with greater calm and clarity. One of the most surprising benefits of silence is its ability to spark creativity. Mental clarity is not just about being able to focus or think logically. It's also about being open to new ideas and creative insights. Silence provides the ideal conditions for creativity to flourish. When we remove distractions and allow our minds to wander freely, we create the space for inspiration to strike. Many creative people, from writers to artists to entrepreneurs, have found that their best ideas come during moments of silence, whether it's while walking in nature, sitting quietly in a room, or meditating. This creative clarity is often the result of giving the mind the freedom to explore new possibilities without the constraints of noise or external input. Silence also plays an important role in decision-making. When faced with important decisions, it can be tempting to seek advice from others or gather as much information as possible. While these strategies can be helpful, they can also create mental noise, making it harder to tune in to your own intuition and judgment. Silence allows you to step away from the noise of others' opinions and tap into your own inner wisdom. In moments of quiet reflection, you can consider your options more clearly, listen to your gut instincts, and make decisions that feel right for you. This kind of decision-making clarity is invaluable, especially when dealing with complex or emotionally charged situations. For those who struggle with overthinking, silence can be a powerful antidote. Overthinking often stems from a mind that is overstimulated and overwhelmed by too many thoughts or concerns. In silence, we can slow down the constant chatter of the mind and focus on one thought at a time. This allows us to gain perspective on the situation, separating what is important from what is trivial. By giving ourselves the space to process our thoughts without rushing, we can move away from the cycle of overthinking and toward a state of clarity and peace. To fully embrace the power of silence for mental clarity, it's important to create regular opportunities for quiet in your daily life. You don't need to spend hours in silence to experience its benefits. Even a few minutes of quiet reflection each day can make a significant difference. You might start by practicing silence in the morning before the day's activities begin, or in the evening as a way to unwind and reflect. You could also incorporate silence into activities such as walking, meditating, or journaling, using these moments as opportunities to clear your mind and gain clarity. For those who are new to the practice of silence, it's normal to feel uncomfortable or restless at first. Many of us are so accustomed to constant stimulation that silence can feel foreign or even unsettling. However, with practice, you'll begin to appreciate the sense of calm and clarity that comes with silence. Over time, you'll find that these moments of quiet become a refuge from the noise of the outside world, offering you the mental clarity you need to navigate life with greater focus and ease. Silence is a powerful tool for achieving mental clarity. It removes distractions, promotes deep thinking, fosters mindfulness, and helps us manage our emotions more effectively. By embracing moments of quiet, we can gain clarity on our priorities, tap into our creativity, and make better decisions. Whether you're seeking relief from overthinking, looking for creative inspiration, or simply wanting to clear your mind, silence offers a path to mental clarity and inner peace. By incorporating regular periods of silence into your life, you'll cultivate a calmer, more focused mind that is better equipped to handle the challenges and opportunities that come your way. Lesson 12. The role of silence in personal transformation. Silence is not just a tool for relaxation or reflection. It plays a profound role in personal transformation. It is in the stillness of silence that we often undergo the deepest changes, whether we realize it at the time or not. In a world that is constantly moving and filled with distractions, we rarely allow ourselves the time or space to experience true transformation. Yet, when we embrace silence, we open ourselves to the possibility of inner change, healing, and growth. Silence acts as a mirror, reflecting back our innermost thoughts, feelings, and desires, and in doing so, it helps guide us through the process of personal transformation. One of the most powerful ways silence contributes to personal transformation is by providing the opportunity for deep self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. Without it, it's difficult to understand what areas of our lives need improvement or how we can better align with our values and goals. In the quiet of silence, we are able to tune in to our inner thoughts and emotions, becoming more aware of our patterns of behavior, our fears, and our aspirations. This heightened self-awareness often leads to important realizations about ourselves, such as habits we need to change, limiting beliefs we need to let go of, or new directions we want to take in life. Without the distractions of external noise, silence allows us to see ourselves more clearly, which is the first step in the process of transformation. Silence also offers the time and space necessary for processing life's challenges. Personal transformation often comes in response to difficult or painful experiences, whether it's a loss, a major life transition, or a personal struggle. In the midst of these challenges, it's common to feel overwhelmed, confused, or emotionally drained. While it can be tempting to distract ourselves from these feelings with work, social activities, or entertainment, it's in moments of silence that true healing occurs. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence and reflect on our challenges, we give our minds and hearts the space to process these experiences fully. This processing is essential for transformation, as it helps us move through pain or uncertainty and emerge on the other side with greater strength, wisdom, and clarity. Another key aspect of silence in personal transformation is that it fosters introspection, which is critical for making meaningful life changes. Introspection is the practice of looking inward to examine your thoughts, feelings, and motivations. In silence, we can ask ourselves the big questions. What do I want to change in my life? What are my true priorities? Am I living in alignment with my values? These are the questions that often go unexamined when we are caught up in the noise of daily life, but they are essential for guiding us toward personal transformation. Silence creates a calm, focused environment where we can engage in this deep introspection and gain the insights necessary to make lasting changes in our lives. Silence also plays a crucial role in helping us break free from limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the internal narratives that tell us what we can or cannot do. Beliefs like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never be successful," or "change is too hard." These beliefs often operate beneath the surface of our consciousness, subtly shaping our thoughts and actions. In the quiet of silence, however, we have the opportunity to bring these limiting beliefs to light. By reflecting on our thoughts and behaviors in moments of stillness, we can identify the beliefs that are holding us back and begin the process of dismantling them. This is an essential step in personal transformation, as it frees us from self-imposed limitations and opens up new possibilities for growth and success. Another powerful way that silence facilitates personal transformation is by creating space for new ideas and perspectives to emerge. Often, when we're immersed in the busyness of life, we become stuck in habitual ways of thinking. We may approach problems with the same mindset, follow the same routines, or hold on to outdated beliefs because we haven't taken the time to consider alternatives. Silence, however, allows us to step outside of these mental ruts and explore new ways of thinking. In moments of quiet reflection, we can gain fresh insights, consider different perspectives, and come up with creative solutions to the challenges we face. This openness to new ideas is a key element of personal transformation, as it helps us grow beyond our current limitations and step into new possibilities. Silence supports personal transformation by helping us develop emotional resilience. Change, especially personal transformation, often involves stepping outside of our comfort zone, facing fears, and navigating uncertainty. These experiences can trigger strong emotions like fear, anxiety, or doubt. However, in the stillness of silence, we can learn to sit with these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Silence teaches us how to observe our emotions without immediately reacting to them, which builds emotional resilience. This resilience is essential for personal transformation because it allows us to move through the discomfort of change without giving up or turning back. Instead of being controlled by our emotions, we learn to work with them in a way that supports our growth. Silence also gives us the chance to reconnect with our intuition, which is a powerful guide in the process of personal transformation. In the noise and distractions of daily life, it can be difficult to hear our intuition, the inner voice that guides us toward what feels right for us. When we're constantly surrounded by external input, we may rely more on logic, others' opinions, or societal expectations to make decisions rather than trusting our inner knowing. However, in moments of silence, our intuition often becomes more audible. We can tune into the subtle nudges and insights that arise from within, guiding us toward the changes we need to make in our lives. Whether it's choosing a new career path, ending a relationship, or making a lifestyle change, our intuition can provide valuable direction when we're in the process of transformation. Silence plays a significant role in cultivating patience, which is an essential quality for personal transformation. Transformation is rarely an overnight process. It takes time, effort, and persistence. In a world that values quick fixes and immediate results, it can be frustrating to wait for change to unfold. However, silence helps us develop the patience necessary to navigate the slow, gradual process of transformation. In moments of stillness, we learn to sit with uncertainty, accept the pace of change, and trust that growth is happening even when we can't see immediate results. This patience allows us to stay committed to our transformation journey, even when the path is difficult or unclear. Silence encourages self-compassion, which is crucial for personal transformation. As we go through the process of change, it's common to face setbacks, make mistakes, or struggle with self-doubt. In these moments, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, criticizing our perceived failures or shortcomings. However, in the quiet of silence, we can practice self-compassion. Silence offers a gentle space where we can acknowledge our challenges without judgment and offer ourselves kindness and understanding. This self-compassion helps us stay motivated and resilient during the transformation process, allowing us to learn from our mistakes and keep moving forward with grace. Silence is a powerful catalyst for personal transformation. It provides the space for deep self-awareness, emotional processing, and introspection, all of which are essential for meaningful change. Silence helps us break free from limiting beliefs, gain new perspectives, and develop emotional resilience. It reconnects us with our intuition, fosters patience, and encourages self-compassion, all of which support the process of transformation. By embracing silence in our lives, we open ourselves to the profound inner changes that lead to personal growth, healing, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. Lesson 13. Silence as a gateway to spiritual enlightenment. Throughout history, spiritual seekers from all walks of life have turned to silence as a means of accessing deeper truths and higher states of consciousness. Whether in the quiet of meditation, prayer, or retreat, silence is often seen as the gateway to spiritual enlightenment, a path that transcends the noise of everyday life and opens the door to profound spiritual insight. In this lesson, we'll explore how silence serves as a powerful tool for spiritual awakening, and why it is essential for anyone seeking to connect with their inner self, the universe, or a higher power. The first and most obvious way that silence leads to spiritual enlightenment is by quieting the mind. Our minds are often filled with chatter, endless streams of thoughts, worries, and distractions that pull us away from the present moment. In silence, however, we can begin to calm the mental noise and experience a state of stillness. This stillness is not just an absence of sound, it's a peaceful, centered state of being that allows us to tap into a deeper level of awareness. When the mind is quiet, we are more receptive to spiritual insights and can connect with the subtle, intuitive wisdom that lies within us. Silence also allows us to become more fully present, which is a key component of spiritual awakening. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of living in the present moment, as it is only in the now that we can truly experience the divine. However, in our fast-paced, distraction-filled world, it can be difficult to remain present. Our minds are often preoccupied with the past or the future, preventing us from fully engaging with the richness of the present moment. In silence, we can practice mindfulness, tuning in to the here and now without the usual distractions. This heightened state of awareness brings us closer to the experience of spiritual enlightenment, as it allows us to witness life in its purest form, without judgment, analysis, or attachment. Another way that silence fosters spiritual enlightenment is by helping us transcend the ego. The ego, often referred to as the small self, is the part of us that is concerned with identity, labels, and the need for control. It's the voice in our heads that says, "I am this," or "I need that," constantly defining and protecting the self. While the ego serves a practical purpose in everyday life, it can also limit our spiritual growth by keeping us focused on the material world and our personal desires. In moments of silence, the ego begins to dissolve. Without the constant mental chatter and external distractions, we are able to detach from the stories and identities we create for ourselves. This detachment opens the door to a higher state of consciousness, where we can experience the oneness of all things and recognize our true nature beyond the ego. Silence also plays a crucial role in deepening our connection with the divine, whether we refer to this divine presence as God, the universe, or a higher power. Many spiritual practices, such as prayer, meditation, and contemplation, emphasize the importance of silence in fostering this connection. In silence, we create a space where we can listen for divine guidance, seek answers to our spiritual questions, and experience a sense of communion with something greater than ourselves. This connection often brings a profound sense of peace, clarity, and spiritual insight, as we realize that we are part of a larger, interconnected whole. By regularly practicing silence, we can strengthen this connection and allow ourselves to be guided by a higher wisdom. One of the most transformative aspects of silence is its ability to reveal our true essence, our inner being that exists beyond thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances. Spiritual enlightenment often involves a process of shedding layers of false identity, beliefs, and attachments that keep us disconnected from our true selves. Silence accelerates this process by stripping away the noise of the outside world and allowing us to turn inward. In the stillness of silence, we can reconnect with our core essence, the part of us that is timeless, unchanging, and always at peace. This realization of our true self is one of the hallmarks of spiritual enlightenment, as it brings with it a profound sense of inner freedom and fulfillment. Silence also creates the conditions necessary for deep inner transformation, which is a key aspect of spiritual enlightenment. Spiritual growth often involves letting go of old patterns, beliefs, and behaviors that no longer serve us. However, these changes require time, reflection, and introspection, qualities that are difficult to cultivate in the midst of constant noise and activity. In silence, we create the space to examine our inner world, reflect on our spiritual journey, and make the necessary shifts to align more fully with our higher purpose. This process of inner transformation is often subtle but profound, as it leads to a greater sense of alignment with our true selves and a deeper connection with the divine. In addition to fostering inner transformation, silence allows us to access states of expanded consciousness. Many spiritual traditions speak of higher states of awareness, such as enlightenment, samadhi, or nirvana, that go beyond ordinary waking consciousness. These states are often described as experiences of unity, bliss, or transcendence, where the boundaries of the self dissolve and we merge with the infinite. While these states are rare and may require years of spiritual practice to achieve, Silence is often the gateway through which we can begin to experience glimpses of this expanded awareness. In deep meditation or contemplative silence, we may experience moments of profound insight, where the illusion of separation falls away and we feel at one with all of existence. These moments of expanded consciousness bring us closer to spiritual enlightenment and offer a glimpse of the deeper reality that underlies all of life. Silence also helps us cultivate humility, which is essential for spiritual enlightenment. The ego often thrives on noise, attention, and the need to prove itself to others. In silence, however, we learn to let go of the need for validation or recognition. We realize that true spiritual growth comes not from external achievements or accolades, but from the quiet inner work of self-discovery and surrender. This humility allows us to approach our spiritual journey with an open heart and mind, recognizing that there is always more to learn and experience. By embracing silence, we create the space for spiritual wisdom to flow into our lives, unhindered by the ego's need for control. For those on a spiritual path, silence also offers the opportunity to deepen practices such as meditation and mindfulness. Meditation in particular relies on silence as a means of quieting the mind and turning inward. The more time we spend in silence, the more comfortable we become with the stillness, and the easier it becomes to enter deeper states of meditation. As our meditation practice deepens, we may begin to experience greater spiritual insights, increased clarity, and a sense of inner peace that transcends the fluctuations of daily life. Silence thus becomes both the foundation and the doorway to deeper spiritual practices, guiding us toward higher states of awareness and enlightenment. Moreover, silence provides the space for us to integrate spiritual insights into our daily lives. Often, spiritual enlightenment is not a single event, but a gradual unfolding of deeper awareness and understanding. As we experience moments of spiritual insight, it's important to take time to reflect on these experiences and incorporate their lessons into our lives. Silence offers the perfect environment for this integration process, allowing us to contemplate the meaning of our spiritual experiences and how they can inform our actions, decisions, and relationships. This integration is essential for sustaining spiritual growth and ensuring that our insights lead to lasting transformation. Finally, silence brings a deep sense of peace and contentment that is a hallmark of spiritual enlightenment. As we embrace silence in our lives, we become less attached to the external noise and distractions that once consumed our attention. We learn to find peace within ourselves, regardless of what is happening in the world around us. This inner peace is a reflection of the spiritual awakening that occurs as we move closer to enlightenment, a peace that comes from knowing that we are connected to something greater, that we are part of the infinite flow of life. In this state of peace, we experience a profound sense of fulfillment and joy, knowing that we are aligned with our true nature and the divine. Silence is a powerful gateway to spiritual enlightenment. It quiets the mind, fosters mindfulness, and helps us transcend the ego, opening the door to deeper spiritual insights and experiences. Silence allows us to reconnect with our true essence, cultivate humility, and access higher states of consciousness. Whether through meditation, prayer, or simply sitting in stillness, embracing silence is essential for anyone on a spiritual path. By making silence a regular practice in our lives, we can move closer to spiritual enlightenment, experiencing the peace, wisdom, and fulfillment that come with it. Lesson 14. Silence as a pathway to emotional healing. In a world where we are often taught to suppress or ignore our emotions, silence offers a powerful and gentle pathway to emotional healing. It is in the quiet moments of solitude that we can connect with our innermost feelings, process unresolved emotions, and begin the journey toward emotional recovery. Silence allows us to step away from the constant demands of the external world and focus on the healing that needs to take place within. Whether it's grief, anger, sadness, or confusion, silence creates the space we need to feel, reflect, and ultimately heal from emotional wounds. One of the most significant ways silence aids in emotional healing is by providing the time and space to fully experience our emotions. In today's busy world, many of us are conditioned to push through difficult emotions, distracting ourselves with work, social activities, or entertainment to avoid confronting what we're feeling. While these distractions may offer temporary relief, they often prevent us from processing our emotions in a healthy way. Unprocessed emotions don't simply go away, they linger, sometimes manifesting as anxiety, stress, or even physical ailments. Silence, however, allows us to sit with our emotions without judgment or distraction, giving us the opportunity to fully experience and release them. This process is essential for emotional healing, as it prevents emotions from becoming stuck or repressed. Silence also promotes emotional healing by encouraging self-awareness. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence, we can tune in to the subtle signals of our emotional landscape. This heightened awareness helps us identify emotions we may have been ignoring or suppressing. For example, we may realize that beneath our frustration lies sadness, or that our anger is masking fear. This deeper understanding of our emotions is the first step toward healing, as it allows us to address the root causes of our feelings rather than just the surface-level symptoms. In silence, we gain the clarity we need to understand what's truly going on beneath the surface, which is essential for processing and healing emotional wounds. In addition to promoting self-awareness, silence helps us cultivate emotional acceptance. Often, when we experience difficult emotions, our first instinct is to resist them. We may try to push them away, numb them, or distract ourselves from feeling them altogether. However, this resistance only prolongs the emotional pain. In silence, we learn to accept our emotions as they are, without trying to change or fix them. This acceptance is a crucial aspect of emotional healing, as it allows us to stop fighting our feelings and instead embrace them with compassion. When we stop resisting our emotions and allow ourselves to fully experience them, they begin to lose their power over us. This emotional acceptance is often the turning point in the healing process, as it leads to greater emotional resilience and peace. Another powerful aspect of silence in emotional healing is its ability to help us process grief. Grief is one of the most challenging emotions to navigate, and it often requires time, reflection, and solitude to fully process. Whether we're grieving the loss of a loved one, a relationship, a job, or a phase of life, silence provides the space we need to honor our grief. In silence, we can reflect on our loss, feel the depth of our sadness, and begin to come to terms with the changes in our lives. Grieving in silence allows us to connect with our inner self and process our emotions without external distractions or pressures. Over time, this reflective process can lead to emotional healing, helping us find acceptance and peace in the midst of loss. Silence also fosters emotional healing by providing a space for introspection and self-reflection. Many emotional wounds are tied to past experiences, whether it's a traumatic event, a difficult relationship, or unresolved conflicts. In silence, we have the opportunity to look inward and reflect on these past experiences. This reflection helps us gain a deeper understanding of how these events have shaped our emotions, behaviors, and beliefs. For example, we may realize that a past rejection has left us with lingering feelings of unworthiness, or that a painful experience has caused us to build emotional walls. By identifying these patterns in silence, we can begin to release the emotional baggage we've been carrying and make space for healing and growth. In moments of silence, we also create the opportunity to practice self-compassion, which is essential for emotional healing. Many of us are our own harshest critics, especially when it comes to our emotions. We may judge ourselves for feeling weak, too emotional, or overreacting in certain situations. However, silence gives us the space to offer ourselves the kindness and understanding we would give to a friend. In these quiet moments, we can remind ourselves that it's okay to feel whatever we're feeling, and that emotions are a natural part of the human experience. By practicing self-compassion in silence, we soften the inner critic and create a nurturing environment for emotional healing to take place. In addition to self-compassion, silence also encourages forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. Many emotional wounds are tied to feelings of resentment, guilt, or anger toward ourselves or others. Holding on to these negative emotions can prevent us from moving forward and healing. In silence, we can reflect on the pain we're carrying and ask ourselves whether it's time to let go. This doesn't mean we condone the actions that cause the pain, but rather that we're choosing to release the emotional burden for our own well-being. Forgiveness in silence is a deeply personal process that allows us to free ourselves from the weight of the past and move toward emotional healing. Silence also helps us regulate our nervous system, which is crucial for emotional healing. When we're constantly exposed to noise, stress, and external stimuli, our nervous system can become overstimulated, leaving us in a state of fight or flight. This heightened state of alertness makes it difficult for us to process emotions and heal. However, when we embrace silence, our nervous system has a chance to calm down and return to a state of balance. This physiological shift creates the optimal conditions for emotional healing, as it allows our minds and bodies to rest, recover, and process emotions in a healthy way. One of the most profound benefits of silence for emotional healing is that it provides a space for new perspectives to emerge. When we're caught in the noise and busyness of life, it can be difficult to see our emotions clearly. We may feel stuck in a cycle of negative thinking or believe that our emotional pain will never go away. However, in the stillness of silence, we often gain new insights into our emotional struggles. We may realize that we've been holding on to an outdated belief, or that we're ready to let go of a past hurt. These new perspectives can lead to breakthroughs in the healing process, allowing us to move forward with greater emotional clarity and strength. Silence helps us connect with our inner wisdom, which is a valuable resource for emotional healing. Within each of us lies an innate wisdom that knows how to heal, grow, and move forward. However, this wisdom is often drowned out by the noise of the external world. In silence, we can tap into this inner wisdom, listening for the insights and guidance that come from within. Whether it's a gentle reminder to be patient with ourselves, a nudge to seek help, or a realization that it's time to let go. Our inner wisdom provides the guidance we need to heal emotionally. Silence is a powerful pathway to emotional healing. It creates the space for us to fully experience and process our emotions, cultivate self-awareness, and practice emotional acceptance. Silence helps us heal from grief, reflect on past experiences, and offer ourselves compassion and forgiveness. It regulates our nervous system, fosters new perspectives, and connects us with our inner wisdom. By embracing silence in our lives, we create the ideal conditions for emotional healing, allowing us to move forward with greater peace, clarity, and emotional resilience. Lesson 15. Silence cultivates inner strength and resilience. In a world that often equates strength with noise, action, and outward displays of power, the role of silence in cultivating inner strength and resilience is frequently overlooked. We tend to associate strength with external achievements, physical power, or the ability to dominate situations, but true inner strength comes from a much deeper place. It's a quiet, steadfast power that grows from within, one that isn't swayed by external circumstances or the opinions of others. Silence provides the perfect environment to nurture this inner strength, helping us build resilience, clarity, and emotional stability in the face of life's challenges. One of the most profound ways silence fosters inner strength is by helping us develop emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, stress, or adversity, and it's an essential quality for navigating life's inevitable ups and downs. When we're constantly surrounded by noise and distraction, it's easy to become overwhelmed by our emotions, whether it's anxiety, frustration, or sadness. However, in moments of silence, we can process our emotions more effectively. Silence gives us the time and space to sit with our feelings, understand them, and work through them without the external pressure to immediately react or fix things. This reflective process builds emotional resilience, as it teaches us that we don't need to run from difficult emotions. Instead, we can face them with calm, understanding, and self-compassion. Silence also helps us build mental strength by fostering focus and clarity. In a noisy, distraction-filled world, our minds are often scattered, jumping from one thought to the next without much control. This lack of focus can make us feel mentally drained or overwhelmed, preventing us from tapping into our inner strength. However, when we embrace silence, we give our minds the opportunity to rest and regain focus. In silence, we can clear away the mental clutter and gain a sharper sense of clarity about our goals, values, and priorities. This mental clarity is a key component of inner strength, as it allows us to make thoughtful, deliberate decisions and stay committed to our path, even when faced with obstacles or distractions. In addition to fostering emotional and mental resilience, silence strengthens our ability to withstand external pressures. Throughout life, we are often bombarded by the expectations, opinions, and judgments of others, whether it's from family, friends, colleagues, or society at large. These external pressures can lead us to question ourselves, doubt our abilities, or make decisions based on what others expect of us, rather than what feels right for us. Silence, however, creates a protective space where we can disconnect from these external influences and reconnect with our inner truth. In silence, we can tune out the noise of the outside world and listen to our own inner voice, the voice that knows what's best for us, regardless of what others may think. This deep connection to our inner self builds a powerful sense of inner strength, as it allows us to stay true to our values and make choices that align with our authentic selves. Another way that silence cultivates inner strength is by helping us develop self-reliance. In a world that encourages constant connection and interaction, many people have become dependent on external validation, advice, or support to navigate challenges. While there's nothing wrong with seeking help from others, true inner strength comes from knowing that we can rely on ourselves, no matter what. In moments of silence, we learn to trust our own instincts, abilities, and judgment. Whether we're reflecting on a difficult decision, processing an emotional challenge, or simply sitting with our thoughts, silence teaches us that we have everything we need within ourselves to handle life's challenges. This self-reliance is a key component of inner strength, as it empowers us to face adversity with confidence and resilience, knowing that we can weather any storm. Silence also plays a crucial role in building patience, which is an often overlooked aspect of inner strength. In a fast-paced world that values instant results and quick fixes, patience can be a difficult quality to cultivate. However, true strength often requires patience, whether it's waiting for the right opportunity, allowing time for healing, or staying committed to long-term goals despite setbacks. Silence helps us develop this patience by teaching us to sit with uncertainty, discomfort, or delay without rushing to force a solution. In the stillness of silence, we learn to accept that not everything will unfold according to our timeline, and that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is wait with grace and trust in the process. This patience strengthens our ability to persevere through challenges, as it allows us to remain calm and focused, even when progress is slow or uncertain. Silence also fosters inner strength by allowing us to connect with our deeper sense of purpose. Many people go through life feeling lost, disconnected, or unsure of their direction because they haven't taken the time to reflect on what truly matters to them. In the busyness of daily life, it's easy to get caught up in tasks, obligations, or the pursuit of external success, losing sight of our deeper values and purpose. However, in moments of silence, we can step back and reflect on the bigger picture. What do we truly want from life? What brings us joy, fulfillment, and meaning? Silence provides the space to explore these important questions and reconnect with our sense of purpose. This connection to purpose is a powerful source of inner strength, as it gives us the motivation and resilience to stay focused on our goals, even in the face of challenges or distractions. Another way that silence strengthens us is by fostering self-discipline. Inner strength isn't just about facing external challenges, it's also about mastering ourselves. Whether it's overcoming bad habits, sticking to a difficult goal, or managing our emotions, self-discipline is a critical aspect of inner strength. Silence helps us develop this discipline by teaching us to control our impulses and remain present in the moment, rather than constantly seeking distraction or instant gratification. For example, in silence, we can practice mindfulness or meditation, learning to observe our thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. This practice of self-discipline strengthens our ability to stay focused on our long-term goals, resist temptations, and manage our reactions to challenging situations. Silence also helps us cultivate resilience in the face of adversity by encouraging us to embrace stillness. In difficult times, our natural instinct is often to react quickly, to fix the problem, find a solution, or escape the discomfort. However, some challenges require a different approach. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to remain still, accept the situation as it is, and allow time for healing, reflection, or new perspectives to emerge. In silence, we practice this art of stillness, learning to sit with discomfort or uncertainty without rushing to change it. This resilience to remain still in the face of adversity builds inner strength, as it teaches us that we don't always need to have all the answers right away. Instead, we can trust in the process and allow things to unfold in their own time. Silence also deepens our connection to our intuition, which is a key source of inner strength. Intuition is the inner guidance system that helps us navigate life's challenges with wisdom and clarity. However, in the noise and busyness of daily life, our intuition is often drowned out by the voices of others, the pressure of expectations, or the distraction of external events. In moments of silence, we can tune in to our intuition, listening for the subtle insights and guidance that arise from within. This connection to our inner wisdom strengthens our ability to make decisions with confidence, navigate uncertainty with clarity, and trust ourselves in the face of challenges. Silence strengthens our ability to adapt to change. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and inner strength requires the ability to adapt and remain flexible in the face of change. In silence, we can reflect on how we've handled change in the past and how we might approach future changes with greater resilience. Silence also teaches us to let go of the need for control, allowing us to embrace uncertainty and flow with the changes that life brings. This adaptability is a key component of inner strength, as it allows us to remain centered and grounded, even when the external circumstances of our lives are in flux. Silence is a powerful tool for cultivating inner strength and resilience. It helps us develop emotional and mental resilience, fosters self-reliance, and strengthens our ability to withstand external pressures. Silence also builds patience, deepens our connection to purpose, and encourages self-discipline. By embracing silence, we can tap into our inner strength, navigate life's challenges with confidence and clarity, and remain resilient in the face of adversity. Ultimately, silence is not just a retreat from the noise of the world. It is a powerful path toward personal empowerment, emotional stability, and lasting inner strength. Lesson 16. Silence enhances intuition and decision-making. In our fast-paced, information-saturated world, it can be difficult to make clear and confident decisions. We are constantly bombarded with advice, opinions, and information that can cloud our judgment and make decision-making a stressful process. However, silence provides a powerful tool to cut through the noise and access our deepest source of wisdom, our intuition. Intuition is often described as a gut feeling or an inner knowing that guides us toward the right choices. In silence, we create the space necessary to connect with this intuitive wisdom, allowing us to make decisions that are aligned with our true desires, values, and goals. One of the most profound ways that silence enhances intuition is by quieting the mind. Throughout the day, our minds are filled with thoughts, worries, and external stimuli that can drown out our intuition. We often second-guess ourselves, overthink decisions, or become paralyzed by conflicting information. In moments of silence, however, we can quiet the mental chatter and tune in to our inner voice. Without the distractions of external noise, we can listen more closely to the subtle signals of intuition, those feelings, insights, or nudges that arise from within and guide us in the right direction. This stillness helps us access a deeper level of awareness, where we can make decisions with clarity and confidence. Silence also plays a critical role in helping us reflect on past experiences, which can strengthen our intuition over time. Intuition is not just a mystical ability. It is often informed by our experiences, knowledge, and subconscious mind. When we take time in silence to reflect on the outcomes of past decisions, we can gain valuable insights into what worked and what didn't. This reflective process helps us recognize patterns and lessons from our experiences, which we can then apply to future decisions. For example, we may realize that when we trusted our intuition in the past, we made better choices, or that when we ignored it, we encountered difficulties. This awareness strengthens our trust in our intuition, making it easier to rely on it when faced with important decisions. In addition to quieting the mind and reflecting on past experiences, silence allows us to bypass the logical, analytical mind and tap into the deeper, more intuitive parts of our brain. While logic and analysis are important for certain types of decision-making, there are many situations in life where our intuition offers a more accurate guide. This is especially true for complex or emotionally charged decisions, where overthinking can lead to confusion or hesitation. In silence, we can bypass the mental noise of overanalysis and tune into our intuition, which often provides a more immediate and holistic understanding of the situation. This ability to connect with our intuitive wisdom helps us make decisions that feel right on a deeper, emotional or spiritual level, rather than relying solely on logic or external advice. Another way that silence enhances intuition is by creating a sense of presence and mindfulness. Intuition often speaks to us in the present moment, offering insights that are based on our immediate feelings, sensations, or perceptions. However, when we are distracted by the past or worried about the future, we may miss these intuitive cues. In silence, we can practice mindfulness, focusing our attention on the present moment and becoming more attuned to the subtle signals of our body and mind. This heightened awareness allows us to notice the gut feelings or flashes of insight that arise in response to a decision. Whether it's a sense of ease or discomfort, an image that comes to mind, or a physical sensation, these intuitive signals can guide us toward the right choice when we are fully present and mindful. Silence also helps us distinguish between fear-based thoughts and intuitive guidance. Often, when we're faced with a difficult decision, it's easy to confuse fear with intuition. Fear may tell us to avoid risks, stick to the familiar, or stay within our comfort zone, even when our intuition is urging us to move forward or take a leap of faith. In silence, we can create the space to examine our thoughts and emotions more clearly. By sitting with our feelings in stillness, we can learn to differentiate between the voice of fear, which is often accompanied by anxiety, doubt, or hesitation, and the voice of intuition, which tends to feel calm, clear, and grounded. This ability to discern between fear and intuition is crucial for making decisions that are aligned with our highest good, rather than being driven by fear or insecurity. Silence allows us to reconnect with our values, which are a key component of intuitive decision-making. Many of us struggle with decisions because we are unsure of what truly matters to us. We may be influenced by societal expectations, the opinions of others, or short-term desires, which can cloud our ability to make choices that are in line with our deeper values and long-term goals. In silence, we can take the time to reflect on what is truly important to us, whether it's authenticity, growth, compassion, or success, and use these values as a guide in our decision-making process. By aligning our decisions with our core values, we are more likely to feel fulfilled and confident in the choices we make, knowing that they are true to who we are at our core. Silence also provides the space to explore our options without external pressure. In the modern world, decisions often feel rushed or driven by deadlines, social expectations, or the need for immediate results. This pressure can make it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are well thought out. However, when we take time in silence to explore our options, we give ourselves the freedom to consider all possibilities without the noise of external pressures. In this quiet, reflective space, we can weigh the pros and cons of each option, explore how each choice aligns with our values and desires, and tune into how we feel about each potential outcome. This process of thoughtful reflection helps us make more informed, intuitive decisions that are not influenced by external forces, but are guided by our own inner wisdom. In addition to improving decision-making in personal matters, silence also enhances professional and creative decision-making. Many of the world's greatest leaders, thinkers, and creatives have relied on periods of silence to solve problems, come up with innovative ideas, and make critical decisions. When we are constantly in doing mode, responding to emails, attending meetings, or engaging with others, our minds can become cluttered with information, making it difficult to think creatively or make strategic decisions. Silence provides a much-needed break from this mental overload, allowing us to step back and see the bigger picture. In these moments of quiet reflection, we often gain new perspectives, insights, and solutions that wouldn't have emerged in the noise of everyday life. Silence helps us build trust in our decision-making abilities. Many people struggle with decision-making because they lack confidence in their ability to make the right choice. This lack of confidence often stems from a reliance on external validation, whether it's seeking advice from others, looking for signs, or constantly second-guessing ourselves. However, in silence, we can begin to trust our own inner guidance. By regularly practicing silence and tuning into our intuition, we strengthen our ability to make decisions with confidence, knowing that we have the wisdom and insight to choose what's best for us. This self-trust is a critical aspect of personal empowerment, as it allows us to move through life with greater ease and certainty, even when faced with difficult or complex choices. Silence allows us to integrate our mind, body, and spirit in the decision-making process. Often, decisions are made from the head, based on logic, reason, or analysis, without considering the input of our body or spirit. However, true intuitive decision-making involves the integration of all three. In silence, we can listen to the wisdom of the body, paying attention to how certain choices make us feel physically, whether it's tension, relaxation, or excitement. We can also tune into our spiritual guidance, seeking insights from within or from a higher power. This holistic approach to decision-making ensures that our choices are aligned with our whole being, mind, body, and spirit, leading to greater clarity, fulfillment, and peace in the decisions we make. Silence is a powerful tool for enhancing intuition and decision-making. It quiets the mind, allows us to reflect on past experiences, and helps us tune into the deeper wisdom that guides us. By practicing mindfulness, distinguishing between fear and intuition, and reconnecting with our values, silence creates the ideal environment for making clear, confident decisions. Whether in personal, professional, or creative matters, silence provides the space for thoughtful reflection, creative insights, and self-trust, allowing us to navigate life's choices with greater clarity, ease, and alignment with our true selves. By embracing silence in our decision-making process, we can tap into the intuitive wisdom that leads us toward the most fulfilling and aligned choices in life. Lesson 17. Silence builds a deeper connection to nature. In our modern world, we often become disconnected from nature, surrounded by artificial environments, constant noise, and technological distractions. However, nature is one of the most powerful sources of peace, healing, and spiritual connection. By embracing silence and spending time in nature, we can rebuild that deep bond with the natural world, which has profound effects on our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Silence in nature allows us to experience the world around us more fully, fostering a sense of harmony, interconnectedness, and awe that is difficult to achieve in the rush of daily life. One of the first things we notice when we practice silence in nature is how attuned we become to the subtle sounds and rhythms of the natural world. When we silence our minds and step away from the noise of civilization, we can truly hear the sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves in the wind, the gentle flow of a river, the distant calls of birds. These natural sounds have a calming and grounding effect on the mind, drawing us away from the constant chatter of our thoughts and allowing us to be fully present in the moment. The quiet of nature invites us to slow down, breathe more deeply, and feel the peace that comes from being in tune with the earth's rhythms. Silence also allows us to observe the beauty of nature in greater detail. Often, when we're preoccupied with our thoughts or rushing through life, we fail to notice the intricate beauty that surrounds us. The vibrant colors of a sunset, the texture of tree bark, the delicate patterns of flowers. However, in moments of silence, we become more mindful of our surroundings, and our senses are heightened. We begin to see, hear, and feel the natural world in ways we might not have otherwise noticed. This enhanced awareness fosters a deep appreciation for the beauty and complexity of the natural environment, reminding us of our place within the greater web of life. Another way that silence in nature builds a deeper connection is by helping us feel more grounded. In our modern lives, we are often disconnected from the earth, spending most of our time indoors, in front of screens, or on hard, artificial surfaces. However, when we spend time in nature, especially in silence, we can physically and mentally reconnect with the earth. Walking barefoot on the grass, sitting quietly on the ground, or simply feeling the breeze on our skin helps us feel more grounded and connected to the natural world. This grounding effect has a calming influence on the mind and body, allowing us to release stress, anxiety, and tension. In nature's silence, we can remember our roots, both literally and metaphorically, and find a sense of belonging to the earth. Silence in nature also provides a unique opportunity for self-reflection and spiritual insight. Many spiritual traditions, from indigenous cultures to Eastern philosophies, have long recognized the importance of nature as a sacred space for contemplation and spiritual awakening. In the quiet of nature, we can step away from the distractions of modern life and tune into the deeper questions of existence. Nature, in its silence and majesty, often inspires us to reflect on the mysteries of life, the cycles of birth and death, and the interconnectedness of all living things. These reflections can lead to profound spiritual insights and a greater sense of peace, as we recognize that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. The practice of silence in nature helps cultivate a sense of humility and awe. When we spend time in nature's vast landscapes, whether it's a towering mountain, a vast ocean, or a sprawling forest, we are reminded of the enormity and power of the natural world. This sense of awe has a humbling effect, helping us put our problems and concerns into perspective. In the presence of nature's grandeur, the petty worries of everyday life often feel insignificant. This shift in perspective fosters a deep sense of humility and reverence, reminding us that we are just one small part of a vast and interconnected universe. This realization can be incredibly grounding and healing, helping us release the need for control and instead embrace the flow of life. Silence in nature also allows us to experience the healing power of the natural world. Numerous studies have shown that spending time in nature has a positive impact on mental and physical health, reducing stress, improving mood, and even boosting the immune system. The natural environment has an innate ability to heal, and silence amplifies these healing effects. In silence, we can fully absorb the therapeutic qualities of nature, the fresh air, the sunlight, the vibrant energy of plant life, all of which contribute to a sense of well-being and balance. Whether it's a quiet walk in the woods, sitting by the ocean, or meditating in a garden, nature's silence acts as a balm for the mind and body, restoring us to a state of inner harmony. Another profound aspect of silence in nature is that it helps us reconnect with our primal instincts and intuition. As human beings, we evolved in close connection with the natural world, relying on our instincts to navigate the environment and survive. However, modern life often disconnects us from these natural instincts, as we rely more on technology and external information to make decisions. In nature's silence, we can reconnect with these primal instincts. We learn to listen to our bodies, trust our senses, and navigate the world with greater awareness and intuition. This reconnection with our natural instincts fosters a deeper sense of confidence and self-reliance, as we learn to trust ourselves and our place within the natural world. Spending time in nature's silence also helps us cultivate a sense of gratitude. In our daily lives, it's easy to take the natural world for granted, as we are often focused on our own needs, tasks, and goals. However, in moments of silence, we can step back and appreciate the many gifts that nature provides: the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and the beauty that surrounds us. This gratitude fosters a sense of stewardship and responsibility for the environment, encouraging us to take care of the earth and protect its resources for future generations. This connection to nature, nurtured in silence, reminds us of our interdependence with the planet and inspires us to live more sustainably and in harmony with the earth. For many, the experience of silence in nature also deepens their spiritual practice. Whether through meditation, prayer, or simple contemplation, nature provides a sacred space for spiritual connection. In the stillness of nature, we can feel the presence of something greater than ourselves, whether it's the divine, the universe, or the energy that flows through all living things. This spiritual connection often brings a sense of peace, clarity, and purpose, as we feel more attuned to the natural rhythms of life. Nature's silence becomes a doorway to the sacred, allowing us to access a deeper level of spiritual awareness and understanding. Silence in nature helps us cultivate patience and presence. In modern life, we are often rushing from one task to the next, always focused on what's coming next rather than the present moment. However, nature moves at its own pace, teaching us the value of patience and presence. In the stillness of nature, we can observe the slow unfolding of life, the gradual growth of plants, the changing seasons, the movement of clouds across the sky. This teaches us to slow down, be patient, and embrace the present moment. By practicing silence in nature, we learn to let go of the need for constant action or progress and instead find peace in simply being present with what is. Silence in nature builds a deeper connection to the natural world, fostering a sense of peace, healing, and spiritual insight. It allows us to attune to the subtle rhythms of the earth, appreciate the beauty of our surroundings, and ground ourselves physically and mentally. Nature's silence provides a space for reflection, self-awareness, and spiritual growth, helping us reconnect with our instincts, intuition, and sense of purpose. By spending time in nature's silence, we can cultivate gratitude, humility, patience, and presence, all of which contribute to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Ultimately, silence in nature offers a path to greater harmony, balance, and connection with the earth and the universe. Lesson 18. Silence strengthens mindfulness and presence. In the midst of modern life's constant activity and noise, finding true mindfulness and presence can be a challenge. We are often pulled in multiple directions by work, technology, social obligations, and endless distractions, making it difficult to stay fully engaged in the present moment. Yet, mindfulness, the ability to be fully present and aware of what we are experiencing right now, is key to inner peace, emotional well-being, and a balanced life. Silence is one of the most powerful tools for strengthening mindfulness and helping us reconnect with the present moment. One of the most immediate benefits of silence is that it quiets the distractions of the external world, allowing us to focus our attention inward. The constant noise and chatter around us often keeps our minds busy and scattered, jumping from one thought or task to another. In silence, however, these distractions fade away, creating space for deeper focus and awareness. When we practice mindfulness in silence, we can pay closer attention to our thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, and surroundings without being pulled away by the demands of the external world. This heightened awareness fosters a sense of presence, grounding us in the here and now. Mindfulness is all about being fully present in the current moment, and silence is the perfect environment to cultivate this presence. In silence, we are not rushing to respond to stimuli or engage in conversation. Instead, we have the opportunity to simply be, fully engaged with whatever is happening in the present. Whether we are sitting quietly, walking in nature, or doing a simple task like drinking tea, silence helps us slow down and experience each moment with more clarity and depth. This deep engagement with the present moment brings a sense of calm and peace, as we are no longer caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. One of the core elements of mindfulness is non-judgmental awareness, meaning that we observe our thoughts, emotions, and experiences without labeling them as good or bad. Silence provides a supportive environment for this kind of awareness. Without the distractions of conversation or external noise, we can sit with our thoughts and feelings as they arise, observing them without trying to change or suppress them. This practice helps us develop a more compassionate and accepting relationship with ourselves as we learn to witness our inner experience without criticism or resistance. Over time, this non-judgmental awareness fosters emotional resilience and self-compassion, allowing us to handle difficult emotions and experiences with greater ease. Silence also enhances mindfulness by encouraging us to tune in to our senses. In the midst of a noisy, fast-paced world, it's easy to become disconnected from our bodies and senses as we are constantly focused on external tasks or distractions. However, in silence, we can bring our awareness back to our physical sensations, whether it's the feeling of our breath moving in and out, the warmth of the sun on our skin, or the sounds of nature around us. This sensory awareness helps us reconnect with our bodies and the present moment, grounding us in the here and now. By paying attention to the subtle details of our sensory experience, we deepen our mindfulness practice and become more fully present in each moment. Silence is also a powerful tool for deepening the practice of meditation, which is one of the most effective ways to cultivate mindfulness and presence. Meditation often involves sitting in silence, focusing on the breath or a point of concentration, and allowing thoughts to come and go without attachment. The stillness of silence supports this practice by minimizing distractions and creating an environment of calm. As we sit in silence during meditation, we learn to quiet the mental chatter and settle into a state of mindful awareness. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to remain present and mindful, even outside of meditation. The skills we develop in silent meditation, such as focus, awareness, and non-reactivity, translate into our daily lives, helping us stay present and centered in the face of challenges or distractions. Another important way that silence strengthens mindfulness is by creating space for reflection and self-awareness. In the noise and busyness of everyday life, we rarely take the time to pause and reflect on our thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. However, mindfulness requires us to be aware of our inner experience, our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, so that we can respond to life more consciously. Silence provides the opportunity for this kind of self-reflection. When we take time to sit in silence, we can observe our mental and emotional states without the distractions of external stimuli. This self-awareness is the foundation of mindfulness, as it helps us understand our habitual thought patterns, emotional triggers, and automatic reactions. By becoming more aware of these patterns in silence, we can begin to shift our responses and engage with life more mindfully. Mindfulness is also about being fully present in the task at hand, and silence enhances our ability to focus on one thing at a time. In our noisy, multitasking world, we are often trying to do several things at once, checking emails, texting, watching TV, or listening to a podcast, all while completing daily tasks. This constant multitasking pulls us out of the present moment and scatters our attention, making it difficult to fully engage with anything we're doing. However, when we practice silence, we reduce the distractions and noise that pull us away from the present. Whether it's eating a meal, working on a project, or simply walking, silence allows us to focus on the task at hand with full attention. This mindful engagement not only improves our focus and productivity, but it also brings a sense of calm and satisfaction, as we are no longer rushing or distracted. Silence also supports mindfulness by helping us develop greater patience. One of the reasons we struggle to stay present in the moment is because we are often rushing to get to the next thing, whether it's completing a task, achieving a goal, or resolving a problem. This impatience can make it difficult to fully enjoy or engage with the present moment. However, in silence, we practice slowing down and embracing stillness. We learn to sit with the discomfort of waiting or doing nothing, cultivating the patience to be present without needing to rush to the next thing. This patience strengthens our mindfulness practice, as it allows us to fully experience each moment, rather than always looking ahead to the future. Silence also deepens our connection to others, fostering mindful relationships. In conversations, we are often focused on what we are going to say next, or how we will respond, rather than fully listening to the other person. This habit of thinking ahead or interrupting the flow of conversation prevents us from truly being present with others. However, when we practice silence, we learn to listen more deeply. By allowing for moments of silence in conversation, we can focus fully on what the other person is saying, without the need to fill the space with words or rush to respond. This mindful listening creates deeper, more meaningful connections with others, as it fosters empathy, understanding, and presence in our relationships. In addition to fostering mindfulness in relationships, silence also encourages us to practice gratitude, which is a key element of mindful living. In the noise and activity of daily life, it's easy to overlook the small moments of beauty, joy, or kindness that surround us. However, in silence, we have the opportunity to pause and reflect on the many things we are grateful for, whether it's the warmth of the sun, the support of a loved one, or the beauty of nature. This practice of gratitude helps us shift our focus from what we lack or what we want to what we already have, cultivating a deeper sense of contentment and presence. By regularly practicing gratitude in moments of silence, we strengthen our ability to appreciate the present moment and find joy in the simple things. Silence helps us cultivate mindfulness by reducing the mental noise that often clouds our judgment and decision-making. In a noisy, fast-paced world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by too much information or conflicting opinions, making it difficult to think clearly or make mindful choices. However, in silence we can step away from the external noise and tune into our inner wisdom. This quiet, reflective space allows us to make decisions with greater clarity and awareness, as we are no longer distracted by the noise around us. This mindful decision-making helps us stay aligned with our values, goals, and true desires, allowing us to navigate life with greater ease and presence. Silence is a powerful tool for strengthening mindfulness and presence. It quiets the distractions of the external world, fosters non-judgmental awareness, and enhances our ability to tune into our senses. Silence supports meditation, encourages self-reflection, and helps us focus on the present moment with greater clarity and depth. By practicing silence in our daily lives, we can cultivate patience, deepen our relationships, and develop a greater sense of gratitude and contentment. Ultimately, silence helps us live more mindfully, allowing us to fully engage with each moment and experience life with greater peace, awareness, and presence. Lesson 19. Silence as a path to creativity and innovation. In today's fast-paced world, where we are constantly bombarded by information and external stimuli, finding the time and space to tap into our creative potential can be a challenge. Creativity and innovation often require moments of quiet reflection, free from distractions, where new ideas can emerge and take shape. Silence, as a tool, has a unique ability to unlock our creative minds, allowing us to think more deeply, explore new possibilities, and generate fresh insights. In this lesson, we'll explore how silence fosters creativity and innovation, and why embracing moments of stillness can lead to breakthroughs in both personal and professional endeavors. One of the primary reasons silence enhances creativity is that it creates a mental blank slate. When we are constantly surrounded by noise, conversation, or digital distractions, our minds are cluttered with external inputs. This overload of information can leave little room for original thoughts or innovative ideas to emerge. In contrast, silence allows us to clear our mental space, quiet the chatter, and enter a state of open-mindedness where creativity can flourish. It's in these quiet moments that our brains are free to wander, make connections between seemingly unrelated ideas, and come up with new and innovative solutions. Silence also plays a crucial role in allowing us to enter a state of flow, a psychological state in which we are fully immersed in a task, deeply focused, and able to perform at our best. Flow is often associated with peak creativity and productivity, but it's difficult to achieve in a noisy or chaotic environment. In silence, however, we can enter this state more easily. Without external distractions, we can fully engage in the creative process, whether it's writing, painting, problem-solving, or brainstorming. The quiet atmosphere allows us to focus deeply on the task at hand, letting our creativity flow uninterrupted. This state of flow not only enhances our ability to generate creative ideas, but also makes the creative process more enjoyable and fulfilling. Another way silence enhances creativity is by fostering introspection and deep thinking. Creativity often requires us to look inward, reflect on our thoughts and experiences, and explore ideas on a deeper level. However, the constant noise of modern life can make it difficult to access this deeper level of thinking. In silence, we can slow down and engage in more reflective, contemplative thought. This type of deep thinking allows us to explore complex ideas, examine our assumptions, and think critically about the challenges we are facing. By giving ourselves the space to think deeply in silence, we can generate more thoughtful, well-rounded, creative solutions. Silence also encourages us to take risks and think outside the box. In a noisy, distraction-filled environment, we may feel pressured to conform to conventional ways of thinking or follow the status quo. The opinions of others, social norms, or external expectations can inhibit our willingness to explore unconventional ideas or pursue bold, innovative paths. However, in silence, we are free from these external pressures. In the stillness, we can allow our minds to wander and explore new, uncharted territory without the fear of judgment or failure. This freedom to think creatively and take risks is essential for innovation, as it opens the door to new possibilities and breakthroughs that we might not have considered otherwise. Silence can help us connect with our inner voice and intuition, both of which are powerful sources of creativity. Many of the world's most innovative thinkers and artists credit their breakthroughs to moments of quiet reflection, where they were able to listen to their inner guidance and tap into their subconscious mind. Intuition often speaks to us in subtle ways, through feelings, hunches, or sudden flashes of insight. But these intuitive signals can be easily drowned out by the noise of everyday life. In silence, however, we can tune into our intuition more clearly, allowing it to guide us toward creative solutions or new ideas. This connection to our inner voice helps us generate more authentic, original ideas that are aligned with our true selves. Another key benefit of silence in fostering creativity is that it allows us to recharge and replenish our mental energy. Creativity requires cognitive resources such as focus, memory, and attention, and these resources can become depleted over time, especially if we are constantly multitasking or engaging in demanding activities. Silence offers a restorative break for our minds, allowing us to step away from the noise and distractions of daily life and recharge our cognitive abilities. This mental rest is crucial for creativity, as it helps us approach problems with fresh eyes and a renewed sense of clarity. After spending time in silence, we often return to creative tasks with greater focus, energy, and inspiration. Silence also encourages daydreaming, which is an important but often overlooked aspect of creativity. In our busy, goal-oriented society, daydreaming is sometimes seen as a waste of time or a distraction from more productive activities. However, daydreaming is actually a powerful tool for creative thinking. When we allow our minds to wander freely without the constraints of tasks or responsibilities, we give ourselves the opportunity to explore new ideas, imagine different possibilities, and make unexpected connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. Silence creates the ideal environment for daydreaming, as it removes the distractions that keep us tethered to our immediate concerns and allows our minds to drift into creative exploration. In addition to fostering daydreaming, silence also enhances our ability to solve complex problems. Many of the most innovative solutions to challenging problems arise from moments of quiet reflection, where we can step back from the immediate pressure to find an answer and allow new ideas to emerge. In silence, we can approach problems from different angles, consider alternative perspectives, and experiment with creative solutions without the constraints of time or external expectations. This process of problem-solving in silence often leads to more innovative, out-of-the-box solutions that we might not have arrived at in a noisy, rushed environment. Silence also promotes creativity by reducing stress and anxiety, which are known inhibitors of creative thinking. When we are stressed or anxious, our minds tend to narrow in focus, fixating on immediate concerns or fears, which limits our ability to think creatively. However, silence has a calming effect on the nervous system, helping to reduce stress and create a sense of inner peace. This relaxation allows us to think more clearly and approach creative tasks with a more open, expansive mindset. In this state of calm and openness, we are more likely to generate new ideas, think creatively, and come up with innovative solutions. Silence encourages mindfulness, which plays a significant role in the creative process. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of the current moment, without judgment or distraction. When we practice mindfulness in silence, we become more attuned to our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings, which can spark creative insights and ideas. For example, we may notice subtle details or patterns that inspire new ideas, or we may become more aware of our inner thoughts and emotions, which can serve as the foundation for creative expression. By practicing mindfulness in silence, we cultivate a heightened sense of awareness that enhances our ability to notice the small sparks of creativity that arise in our everyday lives. Silence creates the space for inspiration to strike. Many creative breakthroughs occur in moments of stillness, when we are not actively trying to solve a problem or generate ideas, but simply allowing our minds to rest. This is because creativity often works in the background of our minds, processing information and making connections, even when we are not consciously focused on the task. In silence, we create the ideal conditions for these unconscious creative processes to unfold, allowing inspiration to emerge naturally. Whether it's during a quiet walk in nature, sitting in meditation, or simply relaxing in a peaceful space, Silence provides the fertile ground where new ideas can take root and grow. Silence is a powerful tool for unlocking creativity and innovation. It clears the mental clutter, allowing us to think deeply, enter a state of flow, and explore new ideas without external pressure or distractions. Silence fosters introspection, enhances intuition, and encourages risk-taking, all of which are essential for generating fresh, original ideas. By providing a space for reflection, daydreaming, and problem-solving, silence supports the creative process and helps us approach challenges with a more open, expansive mindset. Ultimately, embracing silence in our lives allows us to tap into our full creative potential, leading to greater innovation, inspiration, and personal fulfillment. Lesson 20. Silence deepens spiritual connection and awareness. Silence has been recognized throughout history as a gateway to spiritual growth and awareness. Across cultures and religious traditions, moments of stillness and quiet contemplation have been seen as essential practices for those seeking to connect with the divine, the universe, or their inner selves. In a world that is often filled with noise, distractions, and busyness, silence provides a sacred space where we can step away from the external chaos and turn inward. It is in these moments of silence that we can experience a deepening of our spiritual connection and a greater sense of awareness of the mysteries of life. In this final lesson, we will explore how silence nurtures spiritual growth, fosters inner peace, and opens the door to profound experiences of connection and enlightenment. One of the most significant ways that silence deepens spiritual connection is by quieting the mind and creating space for reflection. In our daily lives, we are often consumed by a constant stream of thoughts, worries, plans, tasks, and external distractions that keep our minds busy. This mental chatter can make it difficult to access a deeper sense of peace or connection to something greater than ourselves. However, when we practice silence, we create an opportunity to quiet the mind and step away from these distractions. As the noise of the mind settles, we can access a state of inner stillness, which is often described as the foundation of spiritual awareness. In this stillness, we become more attuned to our inner voice, our intuition, and the presence of the divine. Silence also helps us cultivate mindfulness and presence, which are essential qualities for spiritual growth. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of being fully present in the moment, as this presence allows us to connect with the deeper reality that lies beneath the surface of everyday life. However, in the rush of daily activities, it can be difficult to stay grounded in the present moment. Silence provides a space where we can practice mindfulness, bringing our full attention to the here and now without distractions. Whether we are sitting in meditation, walking in nature, or simply being still, silence helps us focus on our breath, our body, and our surroundings, allowing us to experience the present moment with greater clarity and awareness. This mindful presence is often the doorway to spiritual insight, as it helps us see beyond the noise of the external world and connect with the deeper truths of existence. Another powerful aspect of silence in spiritual connection is that it encourages self-reflection and introspection. Spiritual growth often requires us to look inward and examine our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. In the quiet of silence, we have the time and space to reflect on our spiritual journey, contemplate our purpose, and consider the lessons we are learning along the way. This introspection helps us identify areas of our lives where we may be out of alignment with our values or where we need to grow. It also provides an opportunity to reconnect with our spiritual goals and intentions, ensuring that we are living in a way that honors our higher self. By regularly engaging in self-reflection through silence, we can gain clarity about our spiritual path and deepen our connection to the divine or our inner truth. Silence is also a powerful tool for experiencing the divine or the sacred directly. In many religious and spiritual traditions, silence is seen as the ideal condition for communion with a higher power, whether it is God, the universe, or the divine presence within all things. Through practices like prayer, meditation, or contemplative silence, we can open ourselves to the presence of the divine and experience moments of profound connection and peace. These moments of silence often bring a sense of awe and reverence as we become aware of the vastness of existence and our place within it. This direct experience of the divine in silence is transformative, as it shifts our perspective from the mundane concerns of everyday life to a deeper awareness of the sacredness of all things. Another way that silence deepens spiritual connection is by fostering a sense of humility and surrender. In the noise of daily life, we often feel the need to control everything: our circumstances, our outcomes, and even our spiritual growth. However, true spiritual growth requires us to let go of this need for control and surrender to the flow of life. Silence helps us cultivate this humility by reminding us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. In moments of stillness, we can let go of our attachments to outcomes or expectations and simply be present with what is. This practice of surrendering in silence allows us to trust in the divine plan or the natural flow of the universe, knowing that we are being guided in ways we may not always understand. This trust is a key aspect of spiritual connection, as it helps us align with the greater forces at work in our lives. Silence allows us to access the deeper layers of our subconscious mind, where many of our spiritual insights and experiences arise. Our conscious mind is often focused on practical matters and immediate concerns, but our subconscious mind holds a wealth of wisdom, memories, and spiritual knowledge. In silence, we can quiet the chatter of the conscious mind and access the deeper realms of the subconscious. This is often where we experience flashes of insight, intuitive guidance, or spiritual revelations. Many spiritual seekers describe moments of silence as times when they receive answers to questions they've been contemplating, or when they gain clarity about their spiritual path. This deep connection to the subconscious in silence helps us access the inner wisdom that guides us on our spiritual journey. Silence also deepens our sense of compassion and connection to others. While silence is often seen as a solitary practice, it can also foster a sense of unity and interconnectedness. In silence, we can reflect on the shared human experience, recognizing that we are all part of the same web of life. This awareness of our interconnectedness fosters compassion for others, as we see ourselves in the struggles and joys of those around us. By cultivating silence in our lives, we become more attuned to the needs of others, more patient in our relationships, and more present with those we care about. This deepened sense of compassion is an essential part of spiritual growth, as it helps us live in alignment with the principles of love, kindness, and empathy. Silence provides a space for healing and emotional release, both of which are important aspects of spiritual growth. Many of us carry emotional wounds, unresolved traumas, or unexpressed feelings that can weigh heavily on our spiritual journey. In the noise and busyness of life, we may avoid facing these emotions, but in silence, we create a safe space for them to arise and be processed. Silence allows us to sit with our emotions without judgment, giving them the time and space they need to be felt and released. This process of emotional healing in silence helps us clear away the emotional blocks that may be preventing us from fully connecting with our spiritual selves. As we release these emotional burdens, we create space for greater spiritual awareness and connection to emerge. Silence nurtures a deep sense of inner peace, which is the foundation of spiritual connection. When we are constantly engaged in external activities or distracted by noise, it's difficult to experience a true sense of inner calm. However, silence allows us to cultivate this inner peace by giving us the opportunity to slow down, breathe, and reconnect with our inner selves. In moments of silence, we can let go of the stresses, worries, and demands of daily life and enter a state of deep relaxation and tranquility. This inner peace is essential for spiritual growth, as it creates the space for spiritual insights, experiences, and connections to unfold naturally. The more we cultivate inner peace through silence, the more open we become to the spiritual wisdom and guidance that is available to us. Silence helps us cultivate gratitude, which is a key component of spiritual awareness. In the noise and rush of everyday life, it's easy to take things for granted or focus on what we lack. However, in silence we can reflect on the many blessings in our lives, our relationships, our health, the beauty of nature, and the opportunities we've been given. This practice of gratitude shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, helping us recognize the richness of our spiritual journey and the gifts we've already received. By cultivating gratitude in silence, we open our hearts to the flow of love, grace, and spiritual connection that surrounds us every day. Silence is a profound tool for deepening spiritual connection and awareness. It quiets the mind, fosters mindfulness, and encourages introspection, helping us reconnect with our inner selves and the divine. Silence provides a space for direct experiences of the sacred, as well as emotional healing, compassion, and surrender. By embracing silence in our spiritual practices, we cultivate inner peace, access the wisdom of our subconscious, and open ourselves to greater spiritual insights and guidance. Ultimately, silence is a doorway to a deeper sense of purpose, connection, and enlightenment, offering us a path to spiritual growth and fulfillment in a noisy, distracted world. Throughout this book, we have explored the profound and multifaceted ways in which silence shapes, strengthens, and transforms every aspect of our lives. In a world that is constantly filled with noise, whether it's external distractions or the internal chatter of our minds, silence stands as a powerful antidote, offering us the opportunity to connect more deeply with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a dynamic, living force that fosters clarity, creativity, emotional healing, mindfulness, and spiritual growth. It allows us to pause in the midst of life's chaos and discover inner stillness, guiding us toward greater self-awareness and purpose. Silence can act as a sanctuary where we cultivate patience, resilience, and the ability to listen, not only to others, but to our own inner wisdom. It is a space where we can confront our fears, process our emotions, and reflect on life's deeper questions. We've seen how silence fuels clarity by decluttering our minds, how it enhances creativity by creating a mental blank slate, and how it nurtures emotional healing by giving us the space to process difficult feelings. In silence, we find our deepest connections to nature, our creativity, our spiritual essence, and our inner strength. Whether it's using silence to enhance decision-making, to foster stronger relationships, or to reconnect with our spiritual selves, this practice gives us the tools we need to thrive in a world that often feels overwhelming. Silence is essential for mindfulness, teaching us to be fully present in the moment and to engage with life in a conscious, meaningful way. It strengthens our ability to listen, not just to external voices, but to our inner voice, intuition, and the wisdom of the universe. In doing so, silence becomes a source of empowerment, encouraging us to trust ourselves, make clearer decisions, and live with intention. At the core of it all, silence helps us deepen our connection to the most important parts of life: our relationships, our creative potential, our spiritual journey, and our sense of inner peace. It teaches us to live with greater humility, patience, and presence, and to appreciate the simplicity and beauty that often go unnoticed in the rush of daily life. The lessons on the power of silence are not about withdrawing from life, but about engaging with it more fully and authentically. Silence helps us break free from the distractions, pressures, and noise that cloud our judgment and hinder our growth. It offers us a way to embrace stillness, reflect on what truly matters, and emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and direction. As you move forward in your journey, may you continue to cultivate moments of silence in your life. Whether it's through meditation, quiet reflection, or simply taking time to pause in nature, these moments of stillness will provide you with the clarity, peace, and insight you need to navigate the complexities of life. Remember that silence is not a void. It is a source of profound wisdom and strength. In silence we find our deepest truths, our highest selves, and the freedom to live authentically and joyfully. Let this book be a reminder of the power that lies in stillness and the immense value that silence holds in every aspect of your life. Embrace it, honor it, and allow it to guide you toward a more mindful, connected, and fulfilled existence.